Line them up.
What's good, CBR fam? How y'all doing tonight? Same thing. We're gonna wait for Keno to get in tonight. But how y'all doing tonight, man? I see we got some people in here early already. What's up, James Marshall? I don't know if I see you here before, but how you doing? We got Noe. Ro was the first one on the scene. We got Cousin Tuck. We got Salad. We got Chris. Chris, we got your banner up. We got cousin Bill Hoffman, country boy. Congratulations to Bill on that beautiful clutch he had today. If you haven't seen those beautiful yellow babies, go check them out. One of the best dudes, man. Uh, so go check him out. Uh, what's up, Dee Dee? Mikey Marsh, congratulations on your clutch too, Mikey. I'm seeing you do big things, so congratulations. I'm seeing a lot of big things happen with a lot of the people that show up here every week. And I think it's just a symptom of the Chondro collective as a whole. Every gambit, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got certain groups. If y'all hear my wife yelling at my son is acting insane tonight. So you probably see his little fuzzy head ass pop up here tonight anyway. But I'm so proud to see like everybody's hitting it. Everybody's hitting the mark. People are learning to be great keepers. It's not about, the idea of getting snakes and then selling snakes. People, even the people that are doing that, they're really honing in on being great keepers. Because there's a lot of people that are like some great breeders, and you go ask them, anything, and they'll tell you like they didn't get here to this point by just being guys that just went and got a bunch of snakes and paired them up and made money. I know people have tried, people have failed. I know some people are trying. It's just not a thing with chondros and a lot of other species where you could just like enter the gate and just like I'm seeing so many people across the board just really trying. Even the people that aren't necessarily hitting the mark, they learning something every time. You go ask them, they'll tell you, hey man, I learned this, I learned that. I'm trying to figure it out. And everybody's doing it their own way. So across the board, I'm super happy to see this. Um, so we gonna I'm gonna ask y'all again about t-shirts. If y'all want t-shirts, let me know. A few people said something. Uh and we're still talking about it, how this is gonna work. But it's on the way. Um, try to show me that feed and move you mentioned the other day. I don't remember what I was saying to you. Are you talking about get skinny? I try to get skinny on them, but it don't work all the time. Sometimes they see my big ass and they just like fuck that, get the fuck away from me. Uh, what's up, Orange County Chondros? Um, but yeah, so we're gonna do the whole going way back into MVF again. So this week, we're gonna talk about a guy who has videos on Instagram who actually made a couple posts in the MVF. His name was Webb Wheeler. So Webb Wheeler, um, he is one of those people that I'm not sure how people don't talk about enough. Well, I wasn't. I wasn't until today. Until today, when I looked at it. And Webb Wheeler has videos on. If my shirt don't got Keno Draft face, I don't want it. I don't want a shirt with my face on it. I ain't cute. I ain't cute. Bring you a shirt with Drake's face on it. Uh, But Webb Wheeler is a guy who's from up in Canada. If you go and look for Webb Wheeler and like Green Tree Python, you'll find his videos. He also has like a separate set of videos. It's like him being like a city council member. Don't watch that shit. It's boring. Do not watch that shit. You're gonna be bored as fuck. Don't watch it. But he has a lot of videos um, about feeding. Like he has like a couple of videos about feeding babies. He has a video about socializing uh, neonates and trying to get them to not be mean. I don't know how that's like super relevant. I don't know who actually cares, but it's on there. It's a good video about caring for them in general. He has some videos up there just about just general chondro stuff, mostly neo stuff. But what we're going to talk about today is this post that he had in the MVF that's about prolapses, right? So he has videos up about prolapses. You're gonna have to actually log into YouTube and like then go see it because you can't just watch it through a browser. But they're interesting videos. Now I'll tell you this about the videos: they were kind of met with some people with some which just a different set of mind. But what you gather from Webb Wheeler, because this is a thing that we've talked about multiple times on the show, is prolapse and neonates, right? And I personally never had a neonate prolapse, but I've seen a lot of people that have. And to this day, I don't necessarily think it's something that the keeper is doing all the time. I just don't. I think it's just something that happens with certain babies. Maybe it's water, maybe it's whatever. But from his perspective, keeping neonates in an all around great environment. That's what he's preaching proper husbandry. So he's talking about just the overall care, feeding size, feeding frequency of water changes, um, water quality, parasite loads, temperature, whether it be ambient or it be hot spots, which is something that to this day on the show, we've never actually talked about how temperature may be the possible cause of neonates prolapsing. And it may be. We never know. I know when I talk to other people about their neonates, they keep their neonates warmer than I keep mine. My neonates press themselves up against the front of the tub, um, and so I turn it down a little bit. But that may be a cause. That may be a cause. And you see in that post, you see our man Buddy Buscemi, who was hella active on the MVF. Um, let's let's just for a second, just if you ever like get a chance to talk to Buddy Buscemi, he's got a lot of knowledge, and we're lucky to have him on the show. But if you go through the MVF and just type in Buddy Buscemi is just like he was on it. You can tell that Buddy Buscemi knows what he's supposed to be doing, and he was always willing to give out knowledge. And a lot of these posts that we're looking at on the MVF, like they're well over 10 years old. But like they still hold true today. And at that point in time, they didn't figure out prolapses. We still haven't really figured out prolapses, but I guess we're all getting through it. So if you got a chance, go check that out. What's up? You did wash your face, okay? This is my daughter. This is she says I didn't wash her face. You see, I'll just be creating these little Travis Juniors around here. Um, but yeah, so we got Keno on the way. If you guys want that post, inbox me. We'll link it in the description of this video later. Just let me know if you guys are interested in getting more information like this, because it takes a while to go through MVF sometimes. A lot of the stuff on MVF is just people talk about their own clutches, which is useful in a sense, and just various issues. But it may not necessarily be what you're looking for. So if you're looking for information like that, just let us know, and we'll post it somewhere. But we got part two with Chuck Vogel, and last time we had Chuck Vogel on, we didn't have the best technology set up. But this time I think it's gonna be much different. So um, I want y'all to show some love to our friend Chuck Vogel.
All right. Appreciate it, Travis.
What's going on, Chuck?
Man, I'm just happy to have sound and video, and I think we ought to throw away volume one.
No, we not throwing away volume one.
Man,
It's so
please,
much stuff.
please get rid of volume one. I beg you, get
Hey,
rid of volume one. That's
hey,
bad
Chuck.
stuff. Man, that was a train wreck if ever there's been one.
Hey, Chuck, you know what? Volume one was special. Because sometimes we have these shows where we just have these issues with just mics, cameras, and the lag and all this stuff. But we get through it, and that's part of the Chondro Bar Room. It's DIY keeping. Everything
Well,
is DIY here. We
we
getting
could
through it.
call it we could call it special, but I'm still thinking that we ought to get rid of it.
Okay. we'll, we'll talk to Keto about it. But we will start from the top. If you really want to, we'll start from the top like we did last time. You got to do your Rick James voice again. If we gonna scratch that first episode,
Oh no,
you,
man!
you got to do
I
the
only
Rick
got
James.
one Rick James about every couple months.
See, that's why we can't get rid of it.
I haven't watched Chappelle Show in a while, so I don't have Rick James right here in my, it's not right there in the front of my head.
It's at the tip of your fingers on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Just type in Rick James and you'll get right there. You might get the videos. I mean, I'll tell you something. So my dad had like Rick James in concert. It must have been the early '80s.
Oh my God.
And it was a DVD of Rick James doing a concert, and like he's just like yelling at everybody in the back, and he's just like walking back and forth with a bottle of Hennessy, just yelling at people.
Oh yeah.
And then he like kicks everybody out, and then they go out, and then he's just like pacing back and forth, and they're playing like You and I. And he's just like still just roaming around the back, yelling at people. It's some of the most unhinged shit you ever seen. But somehow he gets it together, takes his ass out on stage, and he just rips the shit.
Man,
So,
I'd love to have been there. I'd love to have seen that.
I think my dad he got to go see Rick James a couple of times. He said it was a good show.
Yeah.
Rick James is a crazy dude.
He's
But
a crazy dude, for sure.
but how you been?
Man, it's been a little bit of a rough, slow week, but I've been all right. I've been good. I've been sending you, sending you photos from Okatee and, looking at alligator snapping turtles and all that.
From your herp travels.
Yeah, man. It was nice to get out there and flip tin and get in the field. I haven't done that in a long time.
I feel like you did, like that was just your life for a long time.
Well, I told you, when I was 18, man, I shot out of Winston-Salem in the Datsun and moved there for a year, and just lived in the car or wherever I had to live, and worked a little bit when I just was flat broke, just enough so I can snake hunt for a couple more months. But that's an incredible herp mecca around there, and it's changed a lot. But you know what? There's still plenty of tin to flip, and there's plenty of spots that the locals and people that been going there for 40, 50 years know about. And you can still find snakes. It's not like it used to be, but there's still good snakes to be had.
You usually go at night or during the day?
During the day, springtime during the day. Yeah, when we used to go down there, once my next door neighbor, best friend, Rusty Car Accident Rollins, once we got our driver's licenses and we could go solo or on our own in about 1977. Man, we'd go down and stay for like as long as we could stay until we were just penniless and barely had gas money to get back. And we would talk the Mr. Harvey at the Siesta Motel. We'd talk him into letting us paint the railings and the swing set and just do work around the motel to get some free nights. And in the middle of the summer, there's nothing to do but road cruise. And back then, man, there was plenty of good road cruising to be had. You could find Okatee corns and scarlet kings and cane breaks and all kinds of stuff. But springtime, yeah, it's flipping tin, flipping boards, flipping whatever you can find to flip. And that's the most fun, really.
It's just you just roaming around, Just
Yeah.
you gotta realize, like, we haven't had anybody on that just lived as carefree as you did for that time period where you just didn't want to work. I think most people scared. I'm scared to just do that type of shit. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe it's so wrong with me.
those
Maybe
were
I.
those were trying times in the 70s, you know, Travis. That was like, you know, you would try most anything in that time. And you know, it's like throw caution into the wind, you know. I mean, we had talked our parents into taking us, or talked Rusty's dad into taking us, I mean, since we were like 12 years old. And, you know, we had made a bunch of trips before we were able to drive there. It was like 6.5 hour drive from home. And, man, once we could drive, once we were mobile, every summer, you know, as
You
soon as
know,
school's out, boom, we were off.
when you tell me this story, you make me realize like how so many people were victims of serial killers in the 70s. Like
No, man, I never
y'all
met
just
a,
out here roaming around,
I
no
never met
ID, no
one.
nothing.
I never met one serial killer the whole time, although there could have been a few that might have been. I don't know. But man, Travis, the cool thing is
You don't think you met one?
the cool thing is you would ride into, you know, Okatee is like Jasper County, South Carolina. It's like Ridgeland, South Carolina. And there used to be like, I don't know, half a dozen little motels. And you know, if you went down like in March or April, there were people from like Staten Island Zoo, from you know, all over the damn place. People that came from many miles away, and there were a few people that would be like living in a hotel there. You know, that were like way older than me. They were like pretty serious herper guys, and you would meet all kinds of people that you know, back in the day, you know, they were some hardcore herper guys. They had read like Keeper and the Kept and a lot of those books about that area, and Carl Caulfield books. And you know, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, but you
You know,
gotta also.
I was not one of the first ones by a long shot. I kind of came along a little bit later.
Yeah, but you got so many people from coming all around. Nobody knows these guys. Y'all just like kind of just like snake drifters.
Well, the hard thing was to
Y'all could have
like
been
get.
carnies.
The hard thing
Straight
was to
carnies.
get. It was kind of like there were some carny like people there. The hard thing was to get in with the local guys. The local guys did not think highly of all these people that came in from New York and Virginia and all over the place. They didn't really want to see all these people, you know, invading their territory. So the hard thing was to like get up with some of the local guys who, of course, knew all the good spots, and they knew how not to get arrested on the plantations and whatnot. So you know, that was kind of the key, and luckily we met them like way back when Rusty's parents used to take us down there. So we kind of had a in there. Um, but man, I'm telling you, I got old pictures, Travis. I'll have to send you some old pictures. I'm like 16 years old, and I'm out there in the mid, like so many miles away from nothing. And there's big old diamondback coming out of a stump hole, or big old cane breaks. And yeah, I'll send you some good pictures of me when I was like, I don't 16, 17.
Yeah, you're just out there, no shirt on, getting eaten by mosquitoes
Oh
and shit.
man, yeah, we didn't care, man.
You give a
It
shit
didn't
about
matter.
malaria at all.
It just didn't matter. I got a
Every
picture
day
of
is a day to
standing.
get
I,
dysentery.
I got one picture after about 3 weeks, 3 weeks at the Siesta Motel, and it was finally time to go. We barely had gas money to get back. And Rusty took a picture of me up on the balcony of the hotel, and I've got like 8 snake bags with like 50 million snakes in them. Because back then, you know, it was not, you know, it was not like bad form to keep stuff. You know, back then, a lot of people took home what they caught and tried to breed it and stuff. And nowadays, you know, it's frowned upon to take anything away. You know, you're supposed to take pictures and leave it there.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you know, people do. I don't think there's a lot of people that come down there and just collect stuff to sell it.
Yeah, probably not. Only because laws are stricter. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You
And
scare
if
me.
the local people catch wind of it, they're liable to come down there and just like kick you right on out of the county physically.
You scare me when you talk about these motels because it's just like you coming out with bags and it's probably a bunch of prosties there. They probably
Man,
was thinking you was pimping, Chuck. They probably thought you was pimping, Chuck.
there's Keno. No, man, it was
What's up,
like
y'all?
hey, it was like the Forest Motel and the Siesta Motel, little bitty, little hole in the wall motels.
That sounds like that motel from that movie's Monsters Ball, like with the
Yeah,
prostitute. That's what it sounds like. He
yeah.
said, "Yeah, you
Or
know what was
you
going
ever
on."
see that movie Motel? You ever see that movie Motel Hell,
Nah, I never seen that movie.
where they plant people in the ground and then they use a tractor to? You never saw that?
Nah,
Oh my
Hey,
God, you got to look up Motel Hell. It's a
what's the
cult
chances
classic.
though? What's the chances of I hopping on and the first thing y'all talk about is pimping?
Uh, you know
I'm
what?
just saying.
It's
I
not
just,
all that. It's not all that remote
just saying.
because you never know.
you
You
said,
never know.
you said you
I told Travis last week or last show is the first time I ever realized that you actually did have eyes. You were not blind. That 2 seconds, his glasses came off.
Are you talking about the last show we did?
Yeah, you did a wardrobe adjustment there
Oh,
with the
see, look,
jacket and all
see,
that.
you wasn't supposed to be paying attention that close. Ain't nobody supposed to see my eyes.
Oh
It's
man, I
like
catch those
Batman.
details. Well, for a while, I really honestly didn't know whether you were blind or not, and I thought, man, the dude is kind of looking like Ray Charles there, a little bit. He's
Bro,
kind of rocking back and forth a
bro,
little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
and then
You know
then I
Keno be grabbing wrists out here.
then I started thinking about, okay, well, wait a minute, he's messing with the snakes, and he just drove his kid to football practice, so he can't be blind. And you know,
he said he thought I was blind. But then it's like,
I'm piecing it together. Oh, that's the songs in the key of life.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
No, that's one of my favorite albums right
Him
there.
with the
Songs in
Stevie
the Key of
Wonder.
man,
Life.
that double album, that my brother bought it. I remember that album from like 1970 something. It was in the album collection my whole life growing up.
What up, Carly?
That's a great album.
It's a great album. I love it.
Yeah, it
What
is.
up,
I'm glad
Tuck?
Keno's here. Now I can start drinking.
Salad, Tuck, 1776. I see everybody.
Tip it back.
Tuck, Carly, what's up, y'all? What you
So
sipping on over there?
how was practice?
Uh, this is Brugal.
I said, what?
I don't know what that is.
I
This
don't
is
know what that.
rum.
I don't know what that is either.
It's
Practice was
rum.
cool. This last weekend, Chuck, they lost, right, and a couple of dudes threw their helmets, so I was a little pissed off. So they got pissed off Coach Keno today.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, one
Ruh-roh.
one thing I ain't gonna deal with. I don't mind like kids celebrating all that. I ain't like that old school type of that. But you gotta have some respect, and
Yeah.
you gotta be gracious in defeat is just as way you are and when you win. You know?
Yes, you do.
It was
Yeah,
a lot of they was throwing gear, and I ain't like that shit, and I had to address that today.
man, I'm glad you did. I've been
Yeah,
dealing with little kids for like about 30 something years for a living. So yeah,
right.
I don't have patience for that kind of stuff either.
I really don't. I really don't. I make their ass run the whole practice.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd make them regret it for sure.
So
Chuck
what
said
you
he's
so what do
one
you
day
do?
away from pepper spraying some kids.
Pepper
No,
spray.
no, 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 no. That's when you get in trouble when you pepper spray.
Tackle a kid.
Hit him with the bear base.
No, don't
So what do
do it.
you so what you do, Chuck?
Well, man, so I've done just about everything. But about I don't know, when I was like 32 or something like that, I went back to school and got a teaching degree so I could teach. because I was going out doing all these reptile
Okay.
presentations for the Gainesville Herp Society, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I was good at it, and I thought, you know what, this wouldn't be a bad job. I'd have summers to go travel and go snake
Right,
hunting
right.
and do things, and Christmas break and all that. And so I started teaching a science lab, hands-on science lab, and I had snakes and salamanders and red-eyed tree frogs and chameleons. I had a zoo in that science lab for about 6 years, and then I got thrown into second grade for about 7 or 8 years, and then I
How,
got thrown.
how was the second graders? How was the second graders?
How were they?
Yeah.
I love second graders. That's my favorite group.
Okay.
I love them.
Graders? I was a terrible second grader.
No. They're young enough that you can put the fear in them, and they don't have that attitude much yet.
Yeah, they haven't got the smart mouth yet.
I took a kid's prosthetic leg off in the second grade.
Man, it's a good age. But then I did
You did what? Hold on, Chuck Powell.
What?
Kevin, you did what?
I pushed the kid. I didn't know he had a prosthetic leg.
What? What are you talking about?
In the second grade, I pushed a kid who had a prosthetic leg, and then his leg fell off out of
you did
the
not.
bottom of his jeans. Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Hey, man, he knocked over my Sunny Delight. I ain't had no choice.
Damn. Well, I'm glad I didn't do that. I'd have gotten fired for sure. But no.
So he knocked up your Sunny Delight, and you chose you ripped his prosthetic leg off.
I didn't know he had a prosthetic leg. It was like my second day in the school. I didn't know he had a fucking prosthetic leg.
I'd feel bad about you, Travis, if you had known that he had a prosthetic leg and you did it anyway.
Bro, he went around beating
fuck
up
that kid.
Beating up crippled people, bro. That's
fuck that
funny.
I mean, unless the kid was a real little shit, I'd feel kind of bad about that.
I don't feel bad. Fuck that. I feel bad at all.
Hey, if you are out there watching this, young man, would you please come on? We want you to come on and talk about how Travis accosted you.
Man.
That's ridiculous.
Bro, I didn't know that. Bro, I didn't know he had a prosthetic leg. Bro, it just fell out the bottom of his pants. Like, I was scared. I thought he had a real leg for a second.
Going around whooping on paraplegic people.
That's one you won't probably soon forget about.
CJ said I'm still here looking for my leg. No, I wasn't CJ.
But no, the last 8 years or so. Last 8 years or so, I did math for like little bitty kids up to middle school, like kindergarten to 5th, 6th grade. And I loved it. It was fun. I'd pull little groups of them out that needed extra help. And I love it.
What's your favorite group to teach, and what is the worst group to teach?
Well, the worst is freaking middle school, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't teach middle school for $1 million a day.
What happened?
That's when they really learn how to be bad, is middle school. That's when they learn.
Man, middle schoolers would actually drive me to do something really bad. They would push me over the edge. They're horrible people. Unless they're your own kid.
Hey, look, right? My freshman year, I was going to the school. I had transferred in. We was reading Shakespeare book, and it was a silent class read, and one of the girls in the class had beef with the teacher, so we had the hardback book now. She threw the book at the teacher when the teacher had her head down doing grade. And it hit her right in the head. Boop.
Damn.
She
this is in crying. Chicago?
Yes.
That was Keno's girlfriend. He fell in love with that girl.
She started crying. She started crying and called the security up there, and she retired like 2 weeks later, like a week later.
I bet she did. That's hardcore.
Man. I was like, damn, she hit on the head with a book.
I remember
Yeah.
we had this
No.
big old fat choir teacher in 7th grade, and she tripped over the cord that was connected to the keyboard and the wall, and she had a skirt, and that motherfucking skirt went over her head. All you just see is all this
Oh.
big old white ass on the ground, and I was the first person to laugh.
Woo. What a
So
sight.
yeah, I got suspended.
I bet.
Trav offered a
Uh,
spot on the blade.
no, you know what? I like
offered a job.
the little guys like 2nd grade to 5th grades, all good. No way on middle school. And 9th and 10th was not fun at all. And then 11th and 12th, I kind of like the older 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah, because they
Especially
really
12th
trying to they trying to play it cool, just get up out of there.
They're trying to get out of there. They know what they got to do, and they know what's going to happen if they act like a fool. And I got along real well with them, but everything in the middle there, in between, middle school, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah,
But
terrible.
it's a good job, man. I enjoy it. And my kid, who said he would never, ever, ever, no matter what, ever be a teacher, he's a damn teacher. He's 5th grade teacher right now. And you know what? He loves it. He loves it.
Really?
Yeah. And every summer, every Christmas break, he travels somewhere. He went to Dominican Republic last year, Christmas time, and he went to Brazil last summer by himself, which, I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that. He went to Colombia by himself the year before that.
Is your son single?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He's like 20
In Colombia? Yeah.
29. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have to send you some pictures of some young ladies we met.
We go get
Those Puerto Ricans or
no,
Puerto Ricans over there?
I tell you, man, in both Colombia, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic, man, there are some very nice looking young ladies there.
Oh, it is, and, especially in Brazil. Brazil, you can go, you know what I'm saying? You
especially in Brazil.
Hit one of the beaches and get frisky.
Yeah, and he kind of appreciates a little bit of solid trunk. He likes a little bit of meat on the bones there.
It's a solid trunk. Is
that
what you call a big booty in the 70s?
My guy.
Those
she got
girls,
a solid trunk.
They suited him just fine. They suited him just fine.
Yeah.
Chuck said, I like a caboose.
Man, I like him. Let's don't go there now. Get in trouble again. This is why we need to throw away Volume 1.
Right, what happened with Volume 1? Hold on. So what happened with Volume 1? What happened?
Oh, you know what happened in Volume 1. We got all into the Puerto Rican girl in the cabin in the woods and all that. We didn't need to go
You
there.
didn't have to say that part again.
I know. Why did I say that again? Damn. Well, I'm gonna stop talking.
No, you good. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, look. Chuck was wild boy in these woods.
The only thing I'm gonna say about that, I had to clarify. I did not steal Rico's girl. That was not Rico's girlfriend.
Okay.
I did not do that.
Okay.
I'm innocent. Not innocent, but I did not do that.
You borrowed her.
No, he brought her. She was like on her own. She was not his property, or he had no claim to her. I would not have sniped her out from under Rico. That would have been a low down thing to do.
He said there's rules to this shit.
He had better sense than I did. He knew full well, she was way too young and would just lead to trouble. But I had no such good sense at the time.
Hey, well, we all live what we learn.
You never dive in the water, huh? Ready to go swimming.
So I gotta say one thing from, I don't know which show it was. It was either the last show or the show before.
We've got notes about Rob's show.
No, it was something that cracked Keno up. It was really, really funny.
What?
And I don't know. I wrote it down. Oh, I know what it was. It was a comment about feed them heavy and breed them young. Feed them heavy and breed them young.
What the fuck is going
whoever it was talking about snakes, obviously, but Keno, you cracked up, and I don't think he even caught it. I don't think he even knew what you were laughing at. And I knew what the hell you were laughing at.
You caught
Damn.
that? Okay, all right.
Oh man,
Chuck is
it cracked me up.
Chuck has the dossier. He has all the information. He's got the dossier.
Well, I just have, well, I won't say a dirty mind, but I catch some of those.
No, you know what I'm saying? My mind definitely be, in the gutter, Chuck. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm glad you was down there dwelling with me.
I was down there with you. I was down there with you. Although I try to live an upstanding life these days as much as I can. But
look. The first step is admitting that you're a sinner. That's the first step to recovery.
I can admit that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just funny as hell because it flew right on by as if nobody said anything, and you cracked up, and I cracked up, and I believe that was Rob. Maybe that was Rob, and he just kept right on talking about how they used to do it back in the old days. Feeding them heavy and breeding them young.
Yeah.
And
Rob. Yeah, Rob. That Rob episode, I was wilding. Rob was wilding, and I was just. See, the thing about the Rob episode is people don't know that I talk to Rob a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of made it easy for me to get like all his references and where he kind of like with the stroke kind of like made him forget some things. I was able to pick up on because I remember a lot of these conversations before he had the stroke. So
did it?
Yeah, man. Rob a funny dude.
Was his stroke COVID related, or he just had a stroke out of the blue?
Nah, it wasn't COVID.
I think he just had a stroke.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. I had no idea until I watched that show.
Yeah, he was.
Looked
he was
like
off
he
the
was
scene for a minute.
It looked like he was doing pretty well.
He was doing pretty well. He
Yeah.
came and appreciate Rob. Shout out to Rob. He came and did the show.
Man,
so hopefully, we get a part 2 of Rob.
I've seen his name and I've read his writings and known of him forever, but I met him for the first time last show. I never really didn't have a picture of him in my head.
Yeah.
I don't think you have a picture of a lot of people. You just be in the woods.
Yeah.
The entire time. He don't see faces.
But I'm glad we could do that, though. I'm glad we could bring faces to a lot of you legendary guys, guys who've been around for a long time.
It's nice to put a face to the name with tons of people. I mean, I had no idea what Tim Morris looked like. I had no idea what
he's a teacher. He's a teacher as well.
Yeah,
I caught that.
He was a teacher.
Ex skateboard dude and science teacher. And you know what else? There's been about 5 guys on the show in the last, I don't know, not too long since I've been since I knew about it. And it's funny, they're all these chondro guys and they all have Okatee corns. Did you notice so many of them say, "Oh, I got some Okatee corns"?
Yeah.
Travis,
Pat has
you talking about Sonny Raju, Pat?
Yeah.
Pat has a badass. He has some badass Okatees.
Oh man, I got a beautiful pair of Okatees.
Let me see if I can go get it.
I hope the female will lay some eggs, but I don't know. She's only like 4 years old this year. She might not even be 4. So she's still pretty young. But the male is one of the nicest. It's as nice as Okatee corns come. I used to take him to school and I could hand him to the kids and I didn't have to worry about, he wouldn't bite no matter what you did to him. It's one of those corn snakes that you could like hand to a bunch of kids and not worry about it.
CJ, we know, man. We know.
Aside from looking drop dead gorgeous, he was as tame as he could be.
We don't make it happen, CJ.
Oh, there they are. Yeah. Yeah, so that the male is the orange and black, and the female is kind of got that lighter tan sort of
Yeah.
background. But she's actually really nice looking too, and pictures don't really do them justice, you know.
So tell me why you think Ogre is so popular amongst the older chondro breeders, OGs.
Because I think the chondro guys have an appreciation for one of the most incredible, beautiful snakes on the planet, and
Okay.
Okatee corn, like a real Okatee corn, is one of the most beautiful snakes on the planet. It really
Okay.
is, and there's a lot of Okatee. You'll see Okatees on Fauna or posted for sale or at the shows,
Yeah.
and they'll say Okatee corn, and man, it's not Okatee corn. I mean, it might be from that
Or
area.
it might have like a percentage in it, but it's like heavily
Yeah,
outcrossed.
yeah, but no, if it's Okatee corn, there's a certain thing that you shouldn't call it an Okatee corn unless it's got those big old black borders and that beautiful orange. There's a certain look that's an Okatee corn, because there are corns that are not that great looking in Jasper County in that area. Most of them are nice looking, but not all of them. So just because it came from there, yeah, you could say it's an Okatee corn, but it's like, sort of shouldn't call them that when they
Hey, how
don't
you
look.
talk? Hey, it's crazy because how you talk, I feel like that about certain cyclops.
Well, yeah, you know what?
Let's just be honest.
You know how it is. There's like there's a spectrum for all these locales. Some of them are
Oh,
spectacular, and
and
some of them are okay.
Trav know I love the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. By the
Yo,
way,
shut
Big
your
fan of the
ass
spectrum,
up.
bro.
by
Shut
the
your
way,
ass up.
Big
you
fan of the
pulled out
spectrum.
Jamaica one night.
Fucking
Yeah, I did.
nerd.
Remember that night you pulled out Jamaica?
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, that's a beautiful snake.
What
What
you
what
saying?
is what is that
What you
snake?
alluding to?
I'm
Ah,
alluding to the fact that you pulled it out that night, and I was like,
uh,
damn, that's a nice looking snake.
I thought you
And
about to ask me to bring it out again.
no, you just didn't say anything about what it was. You didn't tell anything about it.
Because I was
What happened to his
nervous.
camera? Oh, there you
Like,
go.
what is that snake? Where'd it come from, or what's in it?
So the reason why I
Oh,
didn't the reason why I didn't say nothing about that because I was nervous, Chuck. With her, especially at nighttime, I gotta worry about her biting me.
Oh, I
So
thought it was gonna nail you. I thought for sure you were gonna get nailed.
yeah, see, so that animal that came from John Leckie.
Oh,
The animal
okay.
has it's a black pearl lineage in the animal, and
Okay, now that makes perfect sense.
so that
Yep.
animal has been feisty since day one. Since the minute it warmed up here, it's been bitey, and I just every time it shares, I just hope that I don't have to help it. I hope that it never get stuck shed. So where the episode you was watching was my dumb ass. I told somebody that they could pick a snake out, but I wasn't fast enough to say except Jamaica. So I went to the comments and everybody said Jamaica, of course.
maybe
And
you two are on the spectrum.
Well, you know what? It came off just fine. It worked out just fine.
I was
But
hoping,
yeah,
but yeah, that's
if
my
you did,
female Jamaica.
if you did say it was John Leckie and all that, I just missed it. I didn't catch that, but that makes sense because it looks just like an animal he would produce.
Yeah,
That's a
one of those
beautiful
black ones.
snake.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful
thank you,
snake.
Chuck.
There's a
I
lot
actually
of
bought that animal trying to get a high yellow animal. I wasn't expecting it to go all black like that. To
man.
be honest with you.
I got a guy in LA that bought a Kofiau a while back, and he bought two high yellow Kofiau or high yellow from John Leckie that are
Yeah.
like I guess they're 3 years old now at least. Man, they are like 95% bright yellow. They're spectacular
Man,
snakes.
people are
And
sleeping on Lecky, and I'm glad you bring this up because I think it was very important to have Rob on because somebody just got some snakes from John Lecky, and they talked about they talked about the size of the animals. And that comment they made was Lecky told them that the animal was smaller than what it was. Like, yeah, this animal was small. But that person got that animal and is looking at his like all his other animals that are, different lineages, not from that one. That's his first animal from Lakey, and she was like, "This animal huge." And what I said was, Lecky's animals, when you get them in hand, they put into perspective the Rob episode.
Yeah.
Because Rob is speaking of a place of having huge animals, and what we didn't
Yeah.
realize is Rob probably was at the forefront, or maybe he was one of the last ones to get animals, I think, connected to the PNG or on that
Yeah.
border.
Those big
And
wild caught things.
yeah, like that,
Yeah.
like the Lake Katubu animals that are known, the steelhead animals that are known for size and darkness and huge heads.
Yeah.
And I think when Rob tell these stories without pictures, you think it's a myth.
Right.
But
no, they did exist.
I mean, it's on the MVF.
Exactly.
You can still go see those animals.
Yeah,
They're
they
still on
exist.
MVF.
But
don't see
Sabotage
them
is
anymore.
cool. But it was nice to have Rob on so he can reference that, and people.
Yeah.
We got a lot of reaction to that post, to the Rob
bet.
video, negative and positive. Negative,
Man, the first time I met, or the only time
he
I
offended,
met John
he
Leckie,
offended some of the blue line people for real.
well, I'll have to remind me. I got to talk about what he had something to say about Kofiau. But the first time I met John Leckie was at ICAST in Baltimore in 2014, and John had a big table, couple tables with a bunch of animals out there, and his animals, they were always like cheaper than everybody else, whether advertised or at that show. They're always just like, they've always been cheaper than everybody else that was selling the same basic kind of thing. And man, his animals looked like the healthiest, fucking nicest snakes you could find. And and the one guy in LA got a pair. A guy in Sarasota, Florida, that I sold to Kofiau just got a Leckie high yellow, little guy. And I know about a whole bunch of people that have his snakes, and you know what? I've never heard anybody say anything negative about a John Leckie animal, not once.
No, never.
And
very rarely do you get an all green snake from him.
Yeah, I think he's got
rarely.
the high yellow. He's got the high yellow thing worked out. But the one thing Rob said, which cracked me up, and I've heard it before, he's talking about, well, I know a guy that spent like $50,000. He bought five canaries, $10,000 a piece. He had to get a mortgage on his house, and they all turned green. Remember that?
Yeah, he did say that.
Man, I've heard that story about 1 million times or something just like it. So first of all,
Chondro Tall Tales. You got Chondro Tall Tales out here.
Well, Travis, the only Kofiau that I know of that sold for $10,000 was one of the very first ones that was imported, and Tom Crutchfield bought it for like $10,000.
I think that's what he mentioned. I think he mentioned Tom Crutchfield.
Well, Tom didn't mortgage his house, that's for sure, and I don't know that he bought 5 of them for that price. But
you said Rob might engage in a little hyperbole, huh?
Well, I'm just saying that a lot of people will talk about Kofiau because somebody has told them something about Kofiau, a story, anecdote thing about Kofiau, and it didn't really come from somebody who had a lot of experience with them over a long period of time. You know what I mean?
They may have had a 4 or 5, and don't got that experience that you got.
Yeah, and I got
a question.
Wait a minute. I sent Travis a bunch of pictures today, and one of them was just a whole bunch of adults, just to show that they're wildly different, and very few of them are actually green. There's one with a bunch of adults, Travis.
You said that animal was unchanged since 13 months. Wow.
Yeah, these are a bunch of the 22 and 23s, but so there's one of the adults. That was like a 5-year-old animal or something that I produced in 2009.
Damn.
And this thing was yellow, and then at about just before 4 years old, it turned green, and then it went from green to blue and white. And it never had been introduced to a female. It was not reproductive at all. but the thing ended up being like the bluest, and then it was getting whiter and whiter and whiter. And just about the time it was up to about Gray Sunday project level, that's when Nido hit and wiped out the whole collection.
Yeah, I
But
remember the Great Sunday project.
that's a
Yeah.
spectacular example of an adult
So
bouquet.
that was a male right there?
That was a female, but it had not ever been introduced or bred.
Try to pull that up again.
It had
that
never
was a female
been
that was not hormonal, never bred anything.
not hormonal. Well, it had never bred. You know, I don't know how it could be hormonal when it was never introduced to a male.
Exactly. So this animal So this animal went yellow, then green, then blue, or yellow.
It went from solid canary yellow to green, like overnight green, and then from green to blue, and then the white started to creep into the blue. And I think there's another picture somewhere. I may not have been able to find. It is crazy. So that was just before the picture that you just looked at right there. That's when it was going from green to blue. And you can see where the white's going to start creeping in.
Yeah. Wow.
But that was a spectacular snake, man. And one of the ones, I mean, there were so many that I would have had Nido not hit.
This was animal from the Great Sunday project.
No, but it looked like one of them by the time it died from Nido. It looked like one of the Great Sunday.
It was white like that.
It was blue, and then it had gotten just about that white. And I mean, it looked bizarre. It was a weird looking snake.
I gotta ask you a question, Chuck.
Travis and tomorrow, I seen some pictures of that Great Sunday project you're talking about.
I love to see them, man. I got quite a few of them, but I'm always loving seeing more of them.
Yeah, I'll go search it.
I wanna go back to this part that you said earlier. So, how often, when you talk about like people telling you things that like really weren't true about these snakes, how often was that happening? Like, because you got these big projects like this one.
It happens all the time, Travis. It happens all the time. It always has happened, and it still happens all the time. And I think it's because there's a lot of people that have maybe bought one or bought a group of them, but they've only had them for like 3 or 4 years, maybe. And they go from yellow, they start to turn green, and they're like, oh, it's turning green.
First thing they do is sell it.
They sell it, and they don't know that after the green, it may go in any direction. It may go like there's some more pictures of adults, Travis, I sent where
like this one,
like that one. Yep, that's the number 5 that laid the clutch a couple months ago or a month ago.
This got some connection to the Blackhead Canary project.
Yep.
It looked like it.
That's one of the 2016s, and that's a 7-year-old 09 female that I held back that was bright, beautiful yellow until about 7 years old, and then it turned like dirty yellow, like that's the dirty yellow right there. And it looked just like that when it died of Nido. They all these animals died at the same time in like 2015.
What do you think? How do you think you caught Nido?
You know what? I don't want to. I kind of hate to say because I don't want to place it on anybody, but there were a couple animals that came in a roundabout way. I got 2 virgin females.
Both Kofials.
Both Kofials. Both never been attempted, never bred or attempted. Both bright yellow and 7 years old, and they were the first ones to get sick. And that was like 2015, I guess. And
how shortly after they arrived did that happen?
Say that again.
How shortly after they arrived at your place did that happen?
So I quarantined them for maybe 2 months. Short quarantine. I set them up in another room. I used different things to feed. Kept everything separate. They ate like the healthiest snakes you'd ever want to see. They did great. They looked perfect, and they had come from from somebody that I expected, you know, they knew what they were doing and
On
they've
top
been
of
known,
things.
known to have healthy snakes. So I wasn't that worried about them. But they happened to be like the first two snakes that died. And those are the ones I've always suspected were the source, because the people that had them also had a big group of ball pythons. And at that time, Elliot, my friend Elliot at UF, Dr. Jacobson, was telling me that they were seeing it in ball pythons now. And,
What year?
you
What
know,
year was that? Did
from
he
there, it
first?
just mushroomed on.
What year did he first? Did Elliot first start seeing them in ball pythons? If you remember.
Yeah, I want to go over that part because we talked about that yesterday.
So I'm going on memory here, and I thought about it some more, Travis, after we talked. But I think that Elliot and I talked about it like in 2013 or 2014. I think he was having animals sent to UF, to the vet school, in 2013 or 2014. For sure by 2014. And a lot of them were coming from like mid-Atlantic, like, you know, Baltimore, DC, Virginia, you know, Maryland, that area. There's a whole bunch of collections, big collections in that area. And so I knew it was there. I knew it was happening, but you know, I didn't expect it to come to my house, because I had a closed collection for years, man. I hadn't taken in any animals in a long time.
Damn.
And I sort of threw caution into the wind and took those two virgin females, because, man, wouldn't that have been great if it had worked out? But it did not work out. And so anyway, they were the first to go, and then it was just like dominoes. It was like a chain reaction. All of a sudden, you know, one in the main snake room that's always, I raised it up. It's always eaten, always been good. It refused for no reason at all. And they just never do that. Kofiau, once they start to eat, they never refuse, unless they're dead opaque. And you know, when that first one in the snake room didn't eat, I was like, oh shit, this is not normal. And within a week, that snake was dead.
So
it's
what
not
was
like
the point?
it's
No,
not
keep
like
going,
you
I'm
could
sorry.
treat it. It's not like you could take it and treat it with anything, because it was viral. And by the time you saw symptoms or some indication that they were sick, it was there's nothing you could do. So, you know, talking to Elliot about the reality of the situation and what was going on, you know, basically what I did is I knew what I had going on, and there was no point in spending thousands of dollars in necropsies and you know, futile attempts to keep them alive. So basically, I just, you know, I hoped for the best, did everything I could, and one by one, they all dropped, except for that clutch that, you know, Matt got the female in the auction, and it was one of the males that I had held back. That 2016, those little guys in the incubator are the only thing that survived.
When do you think that the community as a whole came into the idea that this was actually a thing that was going on?
So when I got back from taking Rico up to
My bad,
Maryland
y'all. StreamYard kicked me off.
for
You
ICAST, that symposium in Baltimore, that was like summer of 2014. And at that point, people knew that it was a thing and that it was going around. So by ICAST, by summer 2014, it was pretty much common knowledge among the main chondro guys that we had a problem. You know, how much it was talked about, you know, I don't know. It was definitely talked about, but how much was posted on MVF, I don't know. It's hard to say. But it definitely was recognized by summer 2014 and probably earlier than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it hit home for me in you know, like late 2014, early 2015, and it just wrecked my whole world. It burned my world down real quick.
So some of the first sounds you saw from Nido, you said was food refusal out of nowhere.
Food refusal, and I'm telling you, the Kofiau are a pain in the ass to get started.
Yeah.
But once they start to eat, they never stop. They never refuse. They're the best eaters ever. And if they don't eat, either they're opaque, they're about to shed, or there's something wrong with them. You know, well, you know, if it's like introductions are going on, then the males will go off food. But
Yeah.
if nothing's happening and they just for no reason don't eat, then there's something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my first clue. Aside from those two that I told you about that were in quarantine, when the main snake room refused, I knew I had a big problem.
So I think that probably the biggest concern after the refusals, did you get bubbles? Did you start seeing like the RI part, or did you
Nope.
start seeing the spiral part where they start flipping over
Mhm.
and stuff?
Nope. And when in the 80s with paramyxovirus, they would do the
Mhm.
stargazing thing, which really
Yeah.
was them trying to breathe, because
Yeah.
when they stargaze, get that head up there, it kind of opened up the airway.
Yeah.
But there was none of that. I didn't see any bubbles or any mucus type stuff. I didn't hear sneezing. There was none of that. It's like they would stop eating. They would be perched in a weird spot. They just would not be acting normal. And then, within a week, they'd be dead in the cage.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how difficult was it for you guys as a community to get the people that really weren't seeing this on board with the idea that this is really going on? Because it seems like even as of today, there's still some holdouts about Nido virus.
Even like today, I tend
talk
to
about the people who didn't see it, and then talk about the people who willingly denied it, saw it and denied it.
Right. There were people in denial for sure. But so the thing is, I like today I sort of fly under the radar and do my own thing, and I'm not real involved. I mean, I've never been like Mr. Involved in MVF. I had an account, I posted stuff and made comments occasionally, but I was not like, I did my own thing, and I was like the invisible man.
Yeah.
And I was that way then. I'm that way now. So I didn't like jump into the middle of the conversation there. I was kind of like talking to Elliot, so I knew what was the latest veterinary information.
Yeah.
And I just had I had a very small circle of people. And Rico, of course, was gone there by the end of 2014. So when the shit hit the fan, I didn't have Rico. I basically had Elliot. And, I didn't talk to a whole lot of other people. So I was just not out there in that social group of chondro guys, because I've just always sort of been, I've been the reclusive one.
Yeah.
Kind of hang back and do my thing
until you get in the cabin. You get in the cabin, then you turn into cabin Vogel.
And when you're a teacher, you don't have time to do anything. When the school year is happening,
Steady making plans and curriculums.
Man, it's like alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you
got
get
grade homework.
You got papers to grade, and you got paperwork to fill out. It's like, it's an endless cycle. So I didn't really have time to be real involved. And I've just never been one that wanted to be real involved. I mean, I wanted to be involved. I was kind of a listener, I would read what was happening, what other people were talking about, but I didn't really, get in there and run my
You said flap my jib.
Yeah, I didn't throw my voice into the whole mix.
I'm glad that
I was satisfied to just listen to what was the chatter and learn from it.
We glad you came on the bar room to see, because so we're having so much extensive knowledge.
Well, by far for me,
we're having so much. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off, but having so much. extensive knowledge of the Kofiau locality, and us. To be honest, I looked at this, Travis, and I think we had a locality show.
Well,
Even though
Yeah.
even though we both rock with the designers, I think we can. And I'm
I'll,
gonna speak
I'll
on
probably say
Tab's behalf of this too, but I think we really truly appreciate what the locales can give us.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
And
saying? And the outcomes
yeah,
are
yeah,
fine too, but like at its pure form, a sarong is beautiful.
yeah. And
Just
if
like a
I,
Kofi out, and if
Cyclops is
you can get
beautiful. What do you mean?
a Kofi out, a past
Oh shit!
the
Now look,
Kofi
Bill
out,
showed up.
you can get I don't even know who
Bill's
that is,
here.
but you get them Kofi outs that look
What
that
up,
go
Lupe?
green, but they not a
Randy P.
sarong green. It's more
yeah,
like a
yeah,
pastel green. If you know what I'm saying, if I think
Yeah.
this might be the best way to prove it, but
I need to get Travis to like forward, or I wish I don't. Somehow I got Travis on email, but I don't think I got your email. But he needs to like forward those
you got my
emails.
email. Remember, you was emailing me first.
Yeah, I got a ton of
I know
pictures from
I
Chuck.
was on Messenger. I was on Messenger with you first, but I
we
didn't remember
still
on email.
we
Yeah, but
still
then
got
I got the
plenty of
pictures.
pictures.
All right.
I got the pictures
So,
with you
well,
and
so
the
I don't
guy's
have
house.
to go. So I don't have to go find them and pull them again, which takes forever. Travis will just like forward them to you because
All right, okay, cool.
especially
We got
that
pictures
email,
of
Travis,
plants.
that has a whole bunch of adults. Oh yeah, the plants are a whole nother thing, but that one that had a whole bunch of adults.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keno
I put
needs to
all those
look.
in here.
He needs to see the one that has just a whole bunch of adults, because
Yeah, I'll send him that one.
there was one batch that's just a whole bunch of adults. There's one. So
Yeah.
there's one of the rare green true changeling ones on top of one of my founder females, and that founder female underneath. I mean, maybe some people would say that snake's green, but it was not green. It was like a Kofiau that started to change and then just stopped about midway through the change. So she was kind of like yellow with blue and a green sort of tint. But you know, you can tell from that male on top, which was a true changeling. He turned green. Most of them are not green. They're like some variation of yellow or bluish or whatever. And then there's all these
That's an adult.
males. Yeah, that's like a 14-year-old.
14-year-old.
That's Sunflower, man. That's one of my go-to founder males.
What were you feeding him at that age?
You know, I always have been feeding like the retired breeder mice, the XXL jumbo.
The jumbos from like Cold Blooded Cafe.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting them now from Rodent Pro, but I've gotten them from a couple of sources over the years. But the biggest mice you can possibly get, they're the size of a small rat. And you know, I would feed them 2 of those, and man, that was a big meal. That was a
time out right there. So,
go for it. Hit me.
For you people that was inboxing me, blowing me up about Rob's animals. Oh, how they big, he make them big and all that shit.
Yeah.
That was a male that you said you was feeding him every feeding 2 jumbo mice, right?
Yep. Well, sometimes 1, sometimes 2.
Right. But how often was that? What, every couple of weeks or so?
Yeah,
every 2 weeks. I have no schedule, man.
For you people that are scared,
like me.
For you people that are out there scared to feed your chondros, he just showed you a picture of a pure Kofiau, not related to Rob. So get the Rob thing out your mind.
Yeah.
That is a Kofiau right there. He was telling you that it was 14 years old and it was eating 1 or 2 jumbo breeder mice.
Yep.
Get that through your mind, please.
Whenever I fed him, and you know, it might be
get that through your mind, please.
It might be 12 days from the last one. It might be like 3 weeks. It might be 2 weeks. It might be a month. My schedule is whenever I had time, but it averages out, you know, to be right.
About 10
or
14 days.
So that they're. Yeah, it averages out to be a good body weight. And after breeding season, I feed heavy to get the weight back on them. And before I feed them up to get it ready for the males to go off for a couple of months and for the females to bulk up and get ready to produce eggs.
I only mentioned that,
But I don't
Chuck,
have a
because
schedule, man. I do
okay.
not feed like every 3 weeks or every X amount of time because my life doesn't operate that way. I am not.
There's a lot of
I'm
time in
not
the
a. I'm
woods,
not
the
an on
cabin.
schedule type person.
I only mentioned that because I think over the years, I think the last for maybe 5 years has been a correction, but before that, I think we had got too far to the point of underfeeding chondros.
It got there for sure.
Underfeeding, and I saw people giving their animals like a large mouse, like a large mice, every 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, and me, I came up, in 06, 07, back in the old school days, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking like, damn, why are you waiting so long to feed that animal? You know what I'm saying? A large mouse or an adult mouse is shit
Man,
is like this big.
some of them were doing that like once a month.
So then I went back on my recollection with the OGs, and I remember that a lot of the OGs was feeding like 4 and 5 and 6 adult mouse per feeding.
Good Lord.
And I was just saying, okay, instead of doing that, why not give them a large small rat or a medium rat for a female? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Instead of
Yeah.
you
I
going
would.
that 6 times or 5 times, and all right, boom, boom,
Nah,
boom.
I would never do that because it's a waste of money and time.
Right.
But some of these Rodent Pro jumbo mice are not only are they huge mice, but most of the females are pregnant. You can
Yeah.
feel them when you thaw them out. You feel them and they're full of pinks. And I mean,
wow.
I don't weigh them. I'm not collecting data like I
So
used
you
to.
saying Rodent Pro is full of mice child murderers?
I mean, cold-blooded cafes, jumbo mice, they're like that
Let's
too.
don't
You thaw them
let's
out,
don't
and
go
they
there.
still got
Let's
babies in
don't
them.
go there.
I was just messing with you. I was just
We'll
messing
have
with
PETA knocking on our door.
Rodent Pro ain't no disrespect.
We'll have the crazies knocking on our door.
Yeah,
But
I don't
I'm
think
just
it's a
playing
big
Rodent
issue.
Pro. I'm
I
just messing
mean,
with you.
those things probably they're bred to just breed. So
True.
even though they may be retired, like
True.
they
yeah,
still may have been active because
man,
I find them all the time. They still got babies in them. You feel the babies in them.
I feel like they're the size of a small rat, and this is just a personal thing. The only thing I hate more than mice is rats. I hate the
Really?
smell of them. I hate the look of them.
They do smell bad. I give you
They
that.
smell bad,
They
man. They
smell terrible.
stink. They stink. They smell horrible. And I hate mice. I mean, I had
But
a
they
roommate.
make your female GTPs look like they got BBLs, not like that.
You like fat booty chondros?
Yeah,
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Oh,
They got that big head, that
Well,
big booty head. Yeah.
there were a couple. There
as
were a
Chuck
couple.
says, a sturdy trunk.
Some junk in that trunk. There was there, there was a guy, a roommate I had for a couple of years, and he raised mice in our garage. And of course, I got sucked into it because I wanted to pull mice and feed my snakes. So I helped him, clean those tubs. But man, I hated going and grabbing those things and putting them in a bucket and then clean out that nasty ass tub and trying to pick them up and not get bitten by them. They just freak me out. I'm
every
like,
time I go on IG Live, it's a dude named Chucky Madrid. He always cleaning.
Oh
He always
man!
laughing. He always cleaning out rats and mice. And I'm just thinking like, hell no.
so
I'm
you
good.
know
I hate when
like
you just open your phone and you just happen to end up in Chucky's live, and it's just you and him, and he's just cleaning fucking rats.
Cleaning mice.
He's just like, and you see he's looking at the screen and see how long you gonna stay. It's just like, nope.
well, the classic little lady on the kitchen table with her broom. When there's a mouse loose in the house.
Yeah.
I'm like that little old lady with a broom. Mice scare me to death. I'm
like
terrified
mice?
of them. And the only thing that's worse than mice is rats. So I just have always, I mean, there's no reason other than the fact that I do not like rats. I mean, there's no reason not to feed small rats or whatever, but I
You
just
just don't
choose
like
to
them.
feed the jumbo mice because they smell better. And I just detest rats even more than mice. But otherwise, I don't see any reason. Rob was saying, a couple people said, I think Dave was saying rats, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing rats or
John
mice,
Irby, I think
whatever you want to
Irby
do.
was saying, John Irby was saying he get his
John,
animals
yeah,
on rats
yeah,
as fast as possible too.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I agree. Although you know what, when you go from pinks to like hoppers, when it's got some hair on it, there's a huge takeoff in growth. And same thing when you get to like, adult mice, all of a sudden, boom, they take off. And I think it's the same thing when you go to like,
No, you're
with
right,
rats.
bro. Because
I think
when you go from
it's
like
kind of the
pinkies and
same
fuzzies,
thing.
really from hoppers to like rat pups. That's what I do.
Yeah. Whether it's
rat pinks too, man.
Yeah.
Rat pinks,
Rat
they'll
pinks too,
explode.
yeah.
Rat pinks like
But
crazy.
whether it's rats or mice, when you get to that hairy thing or that neck size thing, it's like it results in a big
hairy thing do be fire.
growth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just a personal preference, I think. I don't think there's any advantage over mice.
Some don't like the hairy
look,
thing.
You
Some
gotta
like the shave thing.
so you gotta go dabbing in the bushes.
No, I have to go to the freezer.
You gotta get your Ace Ventura on.
I go to the freezer, pull out my bag of frozen mice, and I thaw them out, and that's me. I'm done.
Hey, but what Pat said, I'm gonna get to what Pat says. Yo, Pat is right. You're gonna get a chondro or a few chondros. They don't grow. You can't feed them crazy. Like they don't grow like that. You'll only just kill them trying to feed them large
and
milk.
Patrick, you here? Stay to the end of the show because I just saw your message. Stay to the end of the show. We're gonna end this with a little something. We're gonna say something.
I've only had one. I've only had one chondro.
So tell him to pull up and he can tune in, Patrick.
I can't I can't see any of the comments.
Chuck, I apologize for interrupting you. Go ahead, keep going. My bad.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say I
Patrick.
can't see any of the comments. So if anybody says something, let me know.
You can't see the
it's
tab
cool
where it
though,
says
Chuck,
comments?
because it's cool.
No, I don't have anything going on over here in the pain.
It's cool. We don't got no green screen right now. We got Chuck.
No, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I just want to let people know that if they say something, I'm not ignoring them. I can't see it. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, if y'all say something to Chuck, make sure say something to Chuck. We'll pull it up for y'all.
Yeah, you guys.
I'll pull up this last comment from Pat.
Probably gets them on rats when they're big enough for weanling rats. Once they're too big for adult mice. Nice.
I think pretty sure he said rat pups on that episode, Pat.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I think he said rat pups, not weanling rats.
Yeah. Like I said, there's more than one way to do it, and they all work
as soon as possible, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah. I agree. It all works.
I think it's nice that we can all just do the feeding things. Everybody's got their own thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to work.
But you're all reaching the same goal.
It's going to work for all of us. Yeah, we're going to do it in different ways, but it's going to work in either way you do it. But I've only had one chondro, and it was a Kofiau that was a failure to thrive. It never would really eat, and it never really grew. And I ended up giving it to some kid, not a kid, but like this teenager at the expo in Daytona. I think it was in Daytona by then.
Right, Chris.
And just, wished him luck. He knew what he was doing. And I figured, if he can, keep it alive, great. If not, fine. But otherwise, man, I just haven't had a whole lot of failure to thrive ones.
I've had one, and I lost it earlier. No, I lost it back like August, September. It was an adult too. She was a beautiful Maruki. I think she had something going on in her system from day one, where she just couldn't poop, and then she finally prolapsed. It was just done for. But it does happen. It does. Some of them just don't grow. I got another small male that it doesn't grow like that. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I remember.
He might be a grower, not a shower, bro.
I remember Rico showing me
Man,
snakes that he would bitch and complain about, just wouldn't grow, and some of them were really nice snakes, and it's like, man, this snake is just not going to thrive. It's just not going to go. And I guess it's like it's a law of averages. You're going to get those every now and then for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They
Hey, well,
just got
so
something
so
going
what?
on.
So we're having so much experience. We talking about feeding. We're having so much experience with the Kofi locality, Chuck. Um, Obviously we heard that basically they kind of like a ruse, like hard to get going. Around what age did you see that they kind of flipped that switch on average?
So here's my unique take on feeding, and it's been funny listening to like Buddy and some of these people that are like, if they don't eat, they're going in the freezer. And have felt that
That's
way.
right, to Ryan
in
Young
the
too.
past.
Ryan Young
Yeah.
said,
Well,
"Get
with,
it, get
with
their ass on
other
ice."
snakes, some of the arboreal pit vipers and some of the colubrids for sure. If they didn't eat, I was not going to make my life miserable trying to get them to eat, because I figure you probably don't want to pass the genes on anyway. But Kofiel are unique because they are universally a pain in the ass to get started. And,
Yeah,
they're so bad that, like at Bushmaster, they did not even attempt to produce pure Kofiel because they didn't have the time, the manpower to like assist feed or like get them going. Um, so,
yeah,
um, Here, my deal is after the first clutch or second clutch, uh, eventually I go through an offer after they have the postnatal shed. I go through and I give it the best go, and try and get them to take a pink, little day old pink, and usually like 1 in 10 will go for it, and the rest
mm,
of them are either runners or they're tucked the head and just hunker down. Uh, and you know what? You can have like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months go by, and they'll still flee or they'll hunker down and hide. Uh, so I started just the ones that didn't eat after the first attempt or two. I just started doing pink heads. I would just cram pink heads in the mouth and spray down their tub so they couldn't dislodge it, and cram that pink head in, plop them in, lid on, go to the next one. And 85% of the time they swallow those pink heads, and it gets the jaws working back and forth, and it gets the feel of food going down and being in their
yeah,
stomach. And usually after four or five assist feeds, they'll start taking pinks and never look back, and they'll grow like hell and be the
nice.
best eaters you've ever seen. But if you don't get them past that hatchling thing, you're out of luck. You'd never get there. And I assume that it's because on that 5 by 7 mile little island out there, there's
Yeah.
probably a real specific thing, like some little geckos or something that they're feeding on. And we don't have that.
You talking about where like they don't have a whole host of different fauna to feast
Yeah,
on.
Kofiau are from
Yeah,
literally like a 5 by 7 mile teeny tiny little chunk of land, way the hell
yeah.
out at the end of the island chain.
That's been
And
pillaged like a motherfucker.
man, I
Man,
tell
it's
you,
no more. It's no more.
it's gotta affect a lot of things. It's a completely different than every other locale. There's
Yeah,
nothing else that small or that remote. And my feeling is there's probably some weird ass little thing that they feed on, when they're brand new hatchlings that we
mm,
just don't have here. So that's my deal. I try, and 1 in 10. Although I have to say the 23 clutch or clutches, I had more of them take pinks right off the bat than any clutch ever before. Like I had
really?
out of 17, I had either 4 or 5 that ate first time. And that's never happened ever before. Usually like a clutch of 17, maybe one, at best 2 of them will eat right off the bat. And the rest of them, pink heads for the first like 5-7 meals before they start, kicking in. But
That
I
can be
think
technique, though, Rob. I mean, Chuck, that can be technique.
no, because like people like Rico, and I mean, I've dealt with little baby temple vipers and little other Trimerosaurus and Bothrops. Those guys are a pain in the ass. Those little arboreal pit vipers are a pain in the ass. So even if you have the best technique on the planet, good luck with little Kofiau. You could have the best technique ever, and you're not going to get them to take a pink. So my solution is, they don't have a choice. I'm going to pick their little asses up, and I'm going to put a pink head in their mouth and stick it in there as far as I can, and I'm going to put them down and let them swallow it. And I think
sound like me. You gotta,
just the act of
It sounds like his activities at the motel at the end of town.
Bro, I'm talking about snakes, bro.
Man,
You're ridiculous, man.
I think once they start getting the feel of working it back and forth with the jaws and getting it down and feeling food in their stomach a couple of times, it kicks in that feeding response, and then they'll take what you're offering. But it's not easy. They're not easy snakes to get going at first. But once they start taking those pinks, man, they're the best eating chondros I know of. They're easier than any Aru or designer or anything I've messed with before. Although, granted, you guys have had more experience with some of the other locales and designers probably than I have, because my main experience has been with Kofiau.
How often were you feeding the pinky heads, Chuck?
With little bitty hatchlings, I was doing pinky heads like every 4th or 5th day. As soon as they crap, I would do another pinky head. And usually it was like the 4th night or the 5th night they would crap, and then clean the cage, and in goes another one. And if you averaged it out, about 4 or 5 pink heads, and then boom, they would start taking a whole pink off forceps on their own. And then you're on your way, no problem. But it's just getting over that initial locked door. Once you get past it, you're good to go.
I always say this about feeding Neos, is like you're not just feeding them, you're teaching them how to actually eat. Like you're actually teaching them how to strike, and how to, and some of you got to teach them how to swallow.
Yeah, in a way, for sure. Yeah,
swallowed.
Like with any of them that eat like tree frogs or little geckos or something specific like that. Yeah, they don't have any idea how to eat a damn pinky. That's foreign to them, you know. So there's definitely some teaching going on. But if you took the mindset of, the ones that don't eat, I don't want to pass on those genes, so I'm putting them in the freezer. If you did that with Kofiau, you'd have no Kofiau in the world.
No.
Because none of them are, 1 in 10 will eat for you. And the rest of them, unless you cram something in their mouths and make them eat, they're not going to eat.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a small island too. Like maybe in nature, only maybe 1 or 2 of them like survive anyway.
It's hard to say. Yeah, there's only room for so many.
It's small.
Yeah, you can
depend on how many people on the island willing to mortgage.
There's like I don't know that there's any permanent people. Well, I guess there's some, but it's all like super protected.
Yeah, it is.
I forget how it's classified.
And it's a long boat ride. I think it's like a 3 or 4 day boat ride too.
Super long, yeah. And you have to have like an invitation and a shitload of paperwork to be able to even go there.
The thing is too, so like a lot of times we talk about the deforestation that may have killed off the Kofiau's, but what we don't talk about is how those animals, how they get smuggled off the island on the boats, and then them boats get caught, and a lot of them animals get thrown overboard in the water.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and throw those water bottles and just get drowned,
Yeah. Well, just like within a year ago, within the last year or maybe a little over a year, I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was. He had gotten permits and an invitation to go to the island and to the preserve there. And he went out at night, with headlamps and stuff. And they turned up a fairly good number of Kofiau. So they are still there, but
You talking about Dan Mallory?
the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
big
that's
slow
him.
cop guy. Yeah, it was
Yep.
about 3 or
Called him
4
a
years
cop guy.
ago.
Say it again.
Well, he got that cop look. My bad. Hey, Dan, look.
Yeah, he does have a cop
If
look.
you
He's
not
like,
a cop, he swole.
he's
He
a
got the
big
bald
dude.
head. He look like
Yeah,
a nigga don't
bald head,
mess out on the street.
Oh, y'all don't even
bald
know
head,
this
big dude.
man. I called him a cop.
Dan,
Bald
my
head,
bad.
big
You ain't no
dude.
cop. My bad. But that video that he's on Kofi, yeah, I know what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Hey,
That's one of the.
he didn't find no canaries, by the way. They were all mostly green.
Well, some of them were. There were a couple yellow ones. It was like a several part thing, and on
True.
at least one of those nights, there were a couple yellow ones. And you know what? He said something about a juvenile, and the damn thing looked like it was 4 feet long to me. And
Okay.
I mean, there were a couple who clearly had gone through some change, but there were a couple that looked yellow and pretty damn close to adult to me. But it was hard to tell. It was hard to tell.
All right, now I'm gonna go watch that video again now.
You should. I'm gonna probably watch it again. But it was hard to tell what his knowledge level or experience level with Kofiau was. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly he heard of them and was interested in them and wanted to go there and all that. But I
Right.
don't know. I don't know if he has extensive time working with them or extensive knowledge of when they change or if they change or what's what. It was kind of I kind of got the feeling that he didn't have an extensive experience level with them. So it's sort of hard to tell when he found them and he said, "Oh, here's a juvenile, still yellow, even though it's 4 feet long." And I'm thinking, how do you know that's a juvenile? It's 4 feet long.
To be fair, Chuck, like how many people do you know that have a lot of Kofiau knowledge? We've had three. We've had three people on the show that I would say had serious Kofiau knowledge. Boz, Matt Morris, and you.
So there used
Facts.
to be Mark Spataro at one time had a pretty big group.
Marcus Spataro, that's true.
What's their names? Husband and wife from in Florida. I'll think of their name.
Cody Barlini?
No, they used to be associated with Glades Herp, I think. I'll think of their name, but they were breeding them for a number of years in a row back in the mid 2000s. I'm blanking on their names, but there was Rico, there was them, there was Mark Spataro.
You're not talking about the Barkers, are you?
No, I don't think David
Barkers were the
Tracy.
albinos.
Yeah, I don't think David Tracy messed with the Kofiau that much, but there were probably like 5 solid, established people who had a good amount of experience with them over a pretty good long period of time. But there's not many.
You said 5 or 6 people, Chuck.
There's not many. I'm telling you, it is a short list.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
and I'm talking about like over a period of years and with a significant number of animals. And then there was the Gray Sunday project guys. What's his name in Netherlands or Germany or wherever he's from? They worked with that group and probably some others for I don't know how many years. They had a pretty good, and they produced a couple clutches.
And bro, when he talked about that, he talking about the Great Sunday Project was white Kofiau.
Well, they were blue with a lot of white, kind of like that one that I showed you. Only they got whiter and whiter.
No, Chuck, those had a lot of white on them.
They had a lot of white. I know.
One of them animals had a completely white head.
One of them had that white head. The one was spectacular. It was. I know them well. I know that one you're talking about.
Okay,
but the majority of them were like were like blue, and then they had gotten lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until they were like a super light blue kind of color, you know.
Okay.
And then there was the one spectacular one that had the white head and was just like more white than anything else.
Yeah.
But there was those guys, and there were some somebody. There was another guy in Germany that Rico knew who had a good bit of experience with him, I believe. John Lingo bred them several years in a row. He got established imports and produced them multiple years in a row, and produced some of the nicest ones that ever existed. Just by luck, I think he got some really premium ones from the wild. But there's not a lot of people. It's a short list for sure. I get what you're saying. There's not that many people. And especially, you know, without Rico, there's shit, you know, all
Shout
the
out to Rico.
shout out to
Man,
Rico.
look, every time we have a conversation about Rico, we have
I miss the hell out of him every day.
anybody on that's like super closely tied to him, man. And really, when y'all really talk that locality talk, man, I always was like, damn, man, why Rico couldn't hang around a couple more years.
By the way, Darlene brought another cage. I don't know whether you see some of these cages in my bedroom. They're all empty.
Yeah.
I'm just storing them in here. But all these racks and cages that have got the perch, they got the water bowl thing. They're exactly as they were, except the snakes aren't in them. And they went from the snake room upstairs to the garage, the well-insulated garage downstairs, and from there to here. And then, of course, there's still a bunch of them up there. But
So the ones the
was
ones on
here
your
like,
right shoulder, those are the
you what?
ones. Those are the ones on your right shoulder. Those are the ones that those are original purchase too. Not your right shoulder.
The racks?
You mean his
Your right,
left shoulder?
So
it's his right. It's his right shoulder. That's his left shoulder.
Are you talking about the racks or the
The
breeding
adult
cages?
ones, the adult breeding cages. Are those the original
Breeding
purchases
cages.
from Rico?
Yeah, those are the
Three grown men can't figure out
those
left
are
from
the
right.
habitat. Those are his Habitat Systems breeding cages.
Purchase too?
They got the probe and they got all the electronics. They got the
Oh wow.
Johnson controls and helix and timers, and it's a big. A couple of them got probes so that you can link like a whole string of them together and program in whatever you want. But my point is that there's a shitload of them still up on the mountain, and there's a shitload of them here. And Darlene was here like last week, and we kind of need to do something with these cages. They need to go somewhere because, I mean, they're good as new. They've never, sat outside.
I'll take some, and I'll pay shipping too. I'll pay y'all and I'll pay shipping.
I think that you guys should rebuild the shack in the woods and make a chondro.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Chavy Chav trying to be
but I'm serious. I'm serious. There's a whole bunch of the Habitat Systems racks, and then there's some big racks like that thing back right here.
Yeah.
It's like 2 units on top of 3 units, and it's like the Iris CB80. It's a big ass tub, and it's got the perches and all the stuff in it. I've got that one and another one.
What size are those tubs? What size are those tubs in that rack right there? Behind your left.
These ones?
Right, yeah.
Those ones are sweater box. Sweater box? What do you call the clear ones?
Like 16 or 32 quarts.
Yeah, actually, this rack I think was for little emeralds because these things were made. What's his name? The emerald dude had these made. The guy whose name I always forget. No, I got his name right. Oh, Steve Volt.
I think it was before Ed. Yeah,
Steve Volt. Yeah.
Okay.
Steve had these things made for his little emeralds, and but they work fine for chondros.
Hey, well, look, if y'all want
Uh,
to, if you want to send
it's,
one of the rags up here, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for shipping.
it's the Chondro tubs is what they call these. I think the clear ones,
Yeah.
clear plastic things.
I'll pay for some history. I'll pay for one of those rags.
So there's those size, and then there's that one is sweater box things. And it came just like that came just like that.
Those are perfect, right?
I put the clear deli cup. I use the disposable deli cups, and I just kind of use these things to keep it from getting knocked over. But they all have the little perch. They're basically the only thing they need is a snake in them, and they've got the heat tape and the electronics and all that stuff.
Are you willing to ship them, or is this only pickup?
Man, I have no idea. I'm just telling you guys that there are a lot of cages. If you ever saw video or pictures of signal herp, there's a shitload of cages involved.
No, I'm very familiar.
And somebody, I want to get a couple more of the Habitat Systems breeder cages, and I wouldn't mind having maybe one more sweater box rack, but I've got a couple more in the snake room. But soon I've got as many as I can fit in the house, and there's so much left still up on
you
the
can tell
mountain.
Darlene I'd be interested in.
Well, the problem is, getting somebody to either come to Tennessee to pick them up at Signal Mountain, or coming in Florida to pick them up. Because I don't know how the hell you would ship something like that.
Yeah, Keno, you're gonna have to actually get you a pickup truck, bro. Take your ass into the mountain.
I would not be able to trust myself.
Truck,
I can't trust myself.
I don't have one.
Keno, you got to get a pickup truck, folks.
I mean, I guess theoretically you could rent like a van from Budget or something.
Chuck, I'm gonna tell you right now, Chuck. Look, never trust a black man that's driving a pickup truck, Chuck.
That's hateful.
What?
That's
hateful.
That's not for hateful.
That's hateful.
Never trust a black man that's driving a pickup truck.
That's hateful. That's hateful.
So
no, it's not.
Where
Travis drive a pickup truck, and no.
So where I live,
he grandfathered in. So
let me just
do my lineage.
So use your imagination and think about North Florida, rural Florida. You hear stories about Florida, right?
Yeah, Florida lynchings. I hear a lot of stories.
Lots of lynchings.
There you go. Now you're on the right track.
Lots of lynchings.
Where I live, this county that I live in, they have is one stoplight in the whole county, one traffic light in the whole county that I live in.
Okay.
Think about that. Not one in the town, but there's one in the whole county. So we're talking out there in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So what you see?
What you telling me, Chuck? You don't see a lot of black.
What I'm telling you around here. What I'm telling you is around here. You see a lot of white folk in big pickup trucks with flags flying from the back of them, and
it's basically the southern version of The Hills Have Eyes, Keenan.
It's like Terre Haute.
Southern version of The Hills Have Eyes, Travis. There you go.
It's like Deliverance. You ever see the movie Deliverance, Keno?
Oh my God! Yeah, that's a classic.
Squeal like a pig.
He bit me. Oh God, man. That's nightmare material there.
Hey, shout out to Terre Haute, Indiana, and all y'all out there too. Y'all living like North Floridians.
Listen, black people in Terre Haute, Indiana are too poor to have a car, let alone a pickup truck, bro.
No, it's funny because the last school where I worked is in Gainesville. It's like an hour away from here. University of Florida, Gainesville, and it's on the east side of Gainesville. It was like 80% black, like 5% Latino. We had like 3% Asian. it was like a diverse group, but white minority type school. And it's like as far from here where I live as you can possibly get. It's like night and day.
But you also got to admit, Chuck, that like the city of Jacksonville has a high population of white people with gold teeth.
Travis, Jacksonville. I don't want to offend anybody that's listening from Jacksonville, but Jacksonville is the armpit of Florida.
Duval.
He says the armpit of Florida.
Duval County, Jacksonville. I have not had good experiences in Jacksonville.
You be fighting up there all the time, Chuck.
I have a good friend who does live in Jacksonville, and I know there's good places there and good people there. But as a whole, I don't think you should move there.
What about Little Haiti?
That's in South Florida.
South Florida. You're talking like around Miami.
Like 10 hours away.
Hell, I've never been there, man. I don't know.
Keno, you gotta actually go into the South, Keno.
What about Opelika?
That's South Florida. Keno, you gotta actually go
Okahumpka. I guess there's an Opelika and an Okahumpka. I don't know.
Gross.
Man, I don't know.
I want to see you. I want to see you out there with the Zoes, Chuck.
With the what?
with the hate.
Yo, stop listening. Also, Keno, we got less than 15 minutes left, bro.
I'll tell you what, I've met some cool Haitian people. I had a cool guy that I went to school with from Haiti, and that's a wild story involved with him. God, that's been like 40 years ago, and I'm struggling to remember his name, but he was wild.
His name was Kodak Black.
Cool as hell guy. Yes. Huh?
His name was Kodak Black. His name was Lil Kodak.
No, man. I'll think of his name in just 1 second. He was wild as shit. He bought this big, gigantic convertible, big lead sled convertible, like some kind of like Delta 88 or something convertible. And man, he used to ride around in that gigantic car, man, and with a big smile on his face.
Hey, my mama had one of them, Chuck.
He was the coolest guy you'd ever want to meet. And actually, a guy that worked at the teaching zoo in Gainesville is a Haitian. He used to work as a Haitian interpreter at the courthouse. And somehow or another, Bobit was his name. Told you I'd remember it. Somehow, Richard from the zoo helped Bobit come to Florida. And Bobit,
he's smoking them in the animal shit.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about this whenever we get together.
We're not gonna talk about this today.
This is not for public. This is not for public consumption.
Then he Father Kodak Black.
But anyway, yeah, there's I've known some very cool Haitians, but good Lord, I would not know how to communicate if they didn't speak English. And anything in South Florida, you better be able to speak Spanish for sure, because once you get down around Miami, about 90% of people are speaking in Spanish.
When you get down to South Florida, you put on a silk shirt?
Hell no.
Why
would I do that?
You go shirtless?
Hell no.
Why not?
Well,
you got to be out there with the Latin infused. Grade A model class cheeks.
I never ever go to South Florida, and B, if I did go there, I would sure as hell not walk around without a shirt or my silk shirt, my gigolo shirt.
Yo, Chuck's on some shit, man.
I'm an old guy. I can't do that anymore.
This show has completely gone off the rail the whole time.
We're way off the rails. Let me look at my notes here. We got to get back on track.
Yeah, you get back to your notes.
Keto,
okay, if you want to... so you know what the key is to get them breeding?
Kofi House, talk to us.
Yeah, Isaac. You know about Isaac Hayes, right?
Oh, I know about Isaac. I'm from Memphis. Hot buttered toast.
So if you get about turn it up to about level 4 on the dial of my stereo, and you get you know, Do Your Thing or The Look of Love, and you hit it up to about number 4, and man, they'll go into frenzy breeding mode just left and right. It's something about his low decibel voice that just drives them
So
nuts.
Isaac, they get the GTP monkey wet.
Man, he's a cool guy. He's an interesting guy.
Do you take off your shirt and put on all your gold chains and do like a recreation of the Black Moses album cover?
Every night, man. That Black Moses, man. Travis, I saw that damn Black Moses concert video like
Hell no.
in the last 3 days. It was last weekend I saw it. And he came out there in that damn black chain thing. Is like, holy shit. Man. Have you ever seen the like 30, 45 minute thing where he sits down and talks to some lady? She interviews him about like the life story of Isaac Hayes. It's recent. It's like within the last couple of years. He's like 80 years old.
No, but my mom grew up in the same neighborhood that Isaac Hayes is from, and he used to come to the high school when she was.
He was from Tennessee.
He
grew up in Tennessee.
He's from North Memphis.
No, you telling me Isaac Hayes is almost your daddy?
He grew up in Tennessee, and he moved to Memphis when he was like after somebody died. He moved to Memphis when he was like, I don't know, 12, 13, something, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
But he grew up in a little bitty town in Tennessee, and then he moved to Memphis, and the rest is history from there.
They went to the same high school, like the same neighborhood. Not at the same time, because he was a lot older than my mama.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was doing at school.
You know, you kind of look like a little Isaac Hayes now, man.
Right, Keno, right.
I see a little Isaac Hayes in you.
I'm fucking adopted. Shut the fuck up.
I see a little Isaac Hayes in you.
Man, I wish I had any part of Isaac Hayes in me, but there's not one part. Damn it.
Yeah, we not start this shit. You're not doing that.
Hey, but look though, Travis do so. If you notice our episodes, right? Travis, when he talks in that low decibel voice, you talking about Travis talks regular right now, but then he goes like, when he knows, he'll go like, well, so and so, and get the swaying and shit. That's when he getting his Isaac Hayes / black tea.
Well, I've noticed sometimes when you get in a like communication with a guest on the show, he'll break into like he'll hit a song in the background, and I think Travis can sing.
You've been watching too much of the show, Chuck.
I'm pretty sure Travis can sing.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one to notice this, because
nobody
I point this out.
Nobody seems
he be on the phone like, oh man, you on that BS.
No, the guest, and nobody seems to notice except for you. And I'm like, damn, Travis.
He be in the background carooning.
I can tell there's a good voice hiding in there.
That's that smooth shit. That's that smooth, claristic Memphis shit right there.
Man, nobody in my family can sing. It's like we did not get the genes to sing. Like anybody, both sides of the family. If we started to sing, you'd be like, shut up.
So Travis come from a singing family. Like his uncles and stuff, they used to wear the one-piece suits with the chest open all the way to the belly button.
So you said everybody in my family was wearing 5 heartbit suits.
Some Isley brothers in there.
Yeah, it was like one-piece velvet suits with stars on them. Yeah.
It's funny. I knew Isaac. I knew Ronald Isley's wife, Candy Isley.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Man, you get around.
Hey,
something like that. I be wiggling.
Ronald Isley always had 2 of them, Chuck.
Oh, I bet. I believe it.
Always had 2 of them.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
Like Trav.
Probably more than 2.
We call Trav. We call him Travie Cuck.
Don't-
So
I
it's
don't
just-
think we better go there.
No, it was a YouTube interview, and they interviewed his cousin on there. I'm gonna send you the interview.
I sent that video to Bill Stinger. I doubt he ever watched it.
Well,
This is this video that he sent to people when it's kind of like if you sign like employee handbook or you had an employee handbook first day at the job, yeah, this is what he kind of do. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it.
if
It's an orientation video. You send it.
If you send it, I guarantee you I'll listen to it. I'll watch it.
Oh, it's like 40 minutes. Trust me, it's gonna give you a huge knowledge base on Travis and his family.
Lay it on me. I want the history of Travis.
It's not true. I don't know this.
Wait till you see picture of his uncle. Look. So what I'm gonna do is
don't do that.
on YouTube. The YouTube. I'm gonna send the YouTube video on your email, Chuck. But check your messenger because I'm gonna send a picture of his uncle on there. I want you to see that.
All right.
None of this is true.
I'm used to like email. I do better with email than messenger, but I'll check messenger. I will.
Just gonna be pictures. You know what I'm saying? We communicate to be through email, but I want to let you see the ism that Travis descend from.
I'd love to see. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want the rest of the story.
There's no story to tell you, Chuck.
I got you.
Chuck, there's no story to tell you.
Oh, I bet there is.
No, there
is, Travis.
There's no story to tell you.
Chuck, do you own any outfits that match your car?
That's a strange question.
It's not strange once you check it. Give me a few days. I got you. That won't be so strange.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I need.
You fucking bastard, bro.
It's meaningful after I get some more information. On Travis.
I'm gonna give you the info. I'm gonna send you the info on his lineage chart.
So he's looking good with that car, huh?
No, it's not. It's not Travis. It's where he descends from. He descends from a long line of people who businessmen of leisure.
Businessmen of leisure. I can see that. I can picture
First
that.
of all, there's no lineage chart for me. I'm adopted, so that don't make no sense.
I think Keno knows something you don't.
I was on the phone with his mother. He was trying to get his mother to convince that what I know is not true.
So, how did you guys meet each other?
He's not a pimp. We not a family of pimps. None of this shit that you're talking about is true.
So what about your uncle that's half Chinese?
So what? I mean, yeah, Keto.
Chuck,
whatever,
he got an uncle that's half Chinese, half black, and he is a pastor in Memphis.
No shit. Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Tell me about it.
He's kind of a pastor. So
what's the quotations for, Chuck? What's the quotations for?
Come on, dog. You know what the quotations for. Just
I know. We know.
You wanted to do something at the end of the show. Just do it.
Well, we're back on track now.
Yeah. Let's get back on track. Go hit your next topic, Chuck.
What did you want to do at the end of the show? You told somebody to come in.
So
let's go a little bit over. I'm gonna wait till the last minute.
So I was gonna shut up this time, and you were supposed to like keep me from going on a bunch of tangents and like talking about a bunch of stuff I shouldn't talk about. So
look what happens.
You guys gotta drive. You gotta drive this car.
It's not good. It's a deuce.
Oh, come on.
We ain't got no power steering.
No, Chuck, how did you
guys get to know each other?
I reached out.
That's a good question.
I mean, you're in Texas and you're in Chicago. How the hell did you get to know each other?
I'll let Keno tell it.
All right, so this was probably about 6, maybe 7 years ago, something like that. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
It was in 2019.
Okay, so about 5.
You guys just met in 2019?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but you would listeners, you would think that like with our chemistry, we've been around each other for a while.
Yeah, I thought you guys known each other for like 12, 13, 15 years or something.
Well, we always say we long lost cousins, man, because a lot of like shit that we went through in life and trials that we went through is kind of like a mirror of each other. So it's like
trials and tribulations.
Yeah. But we first met Travis actually was looking for he was looking for a female green tree python, and he posted in a group that he was looking for that, and everybody started laughing at him. They was like, he's like, I need a female green tree python
You
that's
wanted a
like,
female that was ready to breed.
yeah,
No,
it's
I just
either
wanted a female.
nah,
Period.
Oh, okay.
just a female period. And
Oh,
they
okay.
was like, everybody was posting memes like, yeah, waiting that line. Here's how long that line is, whatever, and all that
Take a
shit.
number.
So, and I just told him, I was like, man, look, captive bred wise, it's gonna be hard, but if you willing to go the import route and the locality route, here's a person that got you. You just make sure you have a vet on hand. And Travis actually already had a vet on hand and everything. So, but shit, Chuck, honestly, man, when we kind of started talking about snakes, it was more or less like I kind of met like my long lost little brother or something. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's kind of, if you really want to be honest, that's kind of like when the Chondro Bar Room took off, because
yeah.
it started as something, and then me and Trav used to be talking on the phone every day, and we was like, bro, the trials and tribulations that we go through with green trees, we can make a
Oh,
show out
yeah.
of this.
So do you guys ever actually go to like you go to Texas, or you go to Chicago? You ever see
So
each
he
other?
came. So he
I
came
went
to
to
Tinley.
Chicago.
He came to Tinley last October, and
Nice.
I'm going to Texas this September.
Man, I've never been to Tinley, and I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, Tinley was
You
fine.
should go once.
That was the show that, like, when they all went to all ball pythons, it's like Tinley was the last one where some of the chondro people actually went. And I
Yeah,
don't know if they still do or not, but I always
they
kind
do.
of want to go.
When they do,
The
it's not
Congo
much
people still meet
sales.
up there. Yeah,
They still meet up.
So the big one is in the fall or in the spring?
fine.
Oh,
The fall, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of many. You don't see no conjos compared to back then. We had the Conjo Coalition and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Rico with the tables and all that.
Right, right.
Nah, now honestly, you see this last show. You had Dimitri, the guy we interviewed. He had a couple captive bred conjos.
shout out to Dimitri.
Yeah, Cold Blooded Cafe. Every now and then
Yeah,
they got some
yeah,
captive bred conjos because Stephen Kush was breeding some lemon tree stuff.
yeah,
But mostly shit is all wild caught, and that stuff they're
yeah.
looking half dead.
Wow. Man, that's a shame that there's not another new version of the coalition. But I guess most people just don't want to go through the risk of taking their snakes out.
That's
Putting
what
them.
it is.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
feel the
I saw
same way.
somebody that had when I went, they had what was shit, Travis saw it too. We had it's a big known breeder. He had like some green tree pythons there, but it was just so damn cold. And I was telling Travis, and he was like,
Yeah,
man, bring your green tree pythons here. And a lot of times, you sitting right under the AC. Like
yeah,
this ain't good. Conditions
yeah.
not good.
Well, I remember before Nido was a thing, like in '09, '08, '09, and 10. I remember going to Daytona, and I had a couple of tables. I think I sent some pictures, Travis, of my tables. I took a bunch of Kofiau, man. I had like a yellow city, a bunch of Kofiau out there for sale, and they all sold faster than hell. But after that period, by the time a couple of years later, nobody wanted to take any of their animals out because
Yeah,
they were afraid of bringing something back, wiping out
yeah.
their whole group. But it was kind of nice when you could go to a show and look at a bunch of nice chondros. The
So
last
how
one,
was
go ahead.
go ahead. I
No,
was
you
gonna
go.
ask you. I was gonna ask you. So jumping back to the Nido thing. There was a period of time where you guys had conjos dropping and you didn't know what it was. Uh, how relieved were you when Nido started coming out that okay, I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? The shit that I've been seeing with these snakes. Okay, now we can finally put a name to it.
Well, I kind of knew what it was because because Elliot had already told me that there's a new virus in town. He had already said, there's this Nido virus that's really wiping out a bunch of chondros, and we're getting a bunch of them into the vet school. So I kind of knew that it was out there. And I knew what it was called. I didn't, know much about it except that it was bad news if you got it. But like I said, I didn't have a big network of people that I chatted with or social media with, or I just doing my thing. But I had the inside scoop from Elliot, who's also a top shelf, very, very good friend for a lot of years. Very cool, very good guy. Smart as hell, vet, and instructor at UF and all that stuff, but kind of guy that you can sit around, we could all three sit around and talk shit with him until like 3 a.m. And he's a nice regular guy who just happens to be like, super smart. But he can talk all day long about normal things. So I kind of had this, and I knew that it was out there. So when it came, I sort of knew what it was. And
dealing with mostly localities, how prevalent did you see this in captive bred animals, captive bred collections that consisted of designers, as opposed to you being a locality guy? How prevalent did you see it in imports?
You know what? I had a pretty much a closed collection for like from 2005 or so, 6. Once I got that group of founder animals, I didn't take any more in for a long time. And and the ones that I did take in were captive bred from John Lingo, and Rico bought a bunch of his as well, like in 2006, maybe thereabouts. So I didn't have a whole lot. Once I bought that group, and some other dude had already bought the initial founder group and cleaned them up, and he had them for a little over a year. And he got them established. They were doing great. So I didn't personally have all that much experience with wild caught, although I did buy one of the first ones I bought was from one of those South Florida flipper type dealer guys. I'm not thinking of the name of them.
These are South Florida flippers. That sounds like
Fort Lauderdale,
a drug dealer ring guy.
Well, it's like you had so it came after Glades Herp and all that. Well, I can't think of the name of any of them now that I'm on the spot, but there were several of them that would buy like 6 tables at the show, and have tons of animals, including like chondros and sometimes Kofiau back in the day. And one of them, I bought one. It was like $600, and it was like, it was like they thought it was turning green, although it hadn't turned green. It was just like halfway starting to change. But I bought that animal, and it ended up killing the one female that I had for about a year. That was in the very beginning, and that I don't know whether that was Nido or not. That one I did hear like some respiratory stuff going on, and but once that one wiped out the other import in the very early, that must have been like early 2000s. Then I bought that group from the dude in Texas that were my founder group, and after that, I didn't really buy anything except for like Lingo, and then traded for some of Rico's captive ones. And otherwise, I didn't take anything in. I was kind of scared to take anything in. even before Nido was a thing. I just knew that it was better not to take anything in, because I had already been through all this shit with paramyxovirus, like,
Yeah.
in the 80s, and it was kind of the same situation. If you got it in your collection, you were going to see a lot of stargazing and then dying animals, and there's nothing you could do about it. So I was cautious even before I knew about nidovirus. So I'm not sure, to answer your question. I don't know. The first ones that I knew about really being hit, seems like it was like big time chondro veteran guys who had large collections and large designer, and maybe some locality too.
Yeah.
But I think it was like getting in a captive bred animal from another collection that sort of like lit the fuse there. I mean, I'm sure there was some wild stuff that was initiating disaster, but it was
Yeah.
also just moving animals around. People that had 50, 60, 70, 100 snakes, you're at a higher risk. And
Yeah.
I just always tried to like go for the low numbers, just enough to have a solid little breeding group, and then build on that, and then try to get in a few more captive bred for new blood.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm doing now. I'm terrified, and I know that some people, I think Patrick said that he had had a Nido positive but asymptomatic Kofiau. It might have been a signal herp one, and he had them separated, another part of the house.
Yeah.
And I think it was okay. I don't know that he ever had any cross contamination going on. They had their own set of forceps and their own set of equipment and stuff, and he didn't go between the two. But I was, after my event, man, I'm terrified. I just would be terrified to have anything under my roof that even could potentially spread it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm really, I've had enough. I've had two like total wipeouts, and just one total wipeout is enough to crush you. It's enough to make you cautious for the rest of your life. But after two of them, I'm way cautious about getting in any new snakes. And I'll tell you, I think you're infinitely better off to get in like hatchlings or super young animals.
We say that all the time. We say that.
Yeah,
We
it's
say that.
true.
We always talk about that, especially on account that a
Oh,
lot of the times with me and Keno,
Yeah,
what we talk about a lot is the difference between buying captive bred steaks and buying imports. You
yeah.
don't have a lot of control over the age of imports a lot of the time,
No, you
especially if you're
don't.
looking for something real specific.
I mean,
hey,
you
Bason's
can get a
dead.
kind
What
of
the
young, you can get
fuck, Chris?
a kind of young import, but you can't get a hatchling young import. But it's like, look at what survived my
Hey, Bason's,
wipeout.
man.
The only thing that survived my wipeout were the hatchlings. And I
Probably
just
because
think,
they had a different, they probably weren't using the same things or in the same
yeah,
area,
but I
possibly.
think in general, I think they're just, it seems maybe like it would be the opposite, but I think in
True.
general, they're just better equipped to fight stuff like that off. That may not be the case, but it sure seems like it is based on my experience. It's like the older animals, like that 2 7-year-old virgin females that I think caused the whole thing, started the whole chain reaction at my place. It was those 7-year-olds. It was not little bitty guys. And
It's interesting that they were virgins too.
yeah, they had just been sitting in a collection, and they didn't have a male, and they didn't want to get rid of them, so they had just been kind of sitting there for a couple of
That's
years.
crazy.
And yeah, man, I was so excited to get them. It was like such a huge opportunity, and I was like walking a foot off the ground. And then a couple months later, I was like, I was the opposite of that. But I think the young ones, I think the little guys are just more resistant to not just Nido, but anything. They're just more resistant to weird flora, weird little microbes and things that might be on older established snakes.
Yeah.
It just seems to me like that they're able to handle that stuff a little bit better than the older ones. So I don't know. I always tell people, if you have already some valuable snakes and you're gonna get something new, buy a little guy. Get like a captive bred, captive hatch little guy, preferably from somebody who has a relatively small collection.
That is hard these days.
It's about all. It is hard, but there's people that have like the 100+ snake collections, and then there's the people that have like the 20 or 30 snake collections, and there's a big difference. There's a big difference between the 20, 30 versus the 200. There's a whole.
About me. I think I got about 22 snakes now, 23, something like that.
See, that's where I like to be. I like to be like including the little guys. No. Well, I like to stay in that in the 20s, including the little guys.
Me too, Chuck, man. I want to have a life, man.
It's I've had my most success has come when I had like 2.2 or 2.3 or 3.2 breeders, and then get offspring and raise those up, and keep it a small little group, and then trade out for some captive born stuff. And just keep it a really small group, and it's just by the numbers. You're less likely to run into disaster that way.
True.
But there was something else that I had that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot what it was.
I like when you put the glasses down.
Man, I'm blind as a bat. I can't see, man.
No, you get the glasses down. I know what's
important. Here's something on track. You know what I did like 2 weeks ago? Went
to that motel?
Nope. But it was about as foolish. Bought a dirt bike, man.
What do you need a dirt bike for? What are you doing out here, Chuck?
I didn't buy just any dirt bike. I bought a death machine, man. I bought like a certain
Widowmaker
dirt bike.
What was it? Ducati?
I used to have like 15 years ago. It was like a midlife crisis thing, man. I bought a dirt bike and then another one and then two more, and then I ended up with like a whole herd of dirt bikes until I got up to the death machines. And I never raced them or anything like that, but I'd sure go out and like fly through the air over jumps and stuff like that, just trail riding. But
Vogel,
hey, Chuck, when you sit down for dinner with your family, do they like actually talk to you or just look at you?
What the fuck? Why would they just stare at him, bro?
It's very rare that we sit down for dinner these days. But no, man. Man, I've loved just I don't know if you guys have ever had a motorcycle thing going on, but when you get that little rocket thing and you go, it puts a big smile on your face and your adrenaline starts to pump. And
so look, right, Chuck. One time, like about a few years ago, I rode around my neighborhood on a moped with no helmet, and I felt like I was on top of the world.
You feel free? He said,
yeah.
He said, this must be what it feel like to live in the country.
I felt like I felt like a free bird. I was like,
in Chicago, I sure as hell wouldn't ride any motorcycle on the street around there because you're sure to get killed. Somebody run into you.
Especially with the taxi drivers here, they don't care.
I bet they don't.
Are you good though? You good though? You got them. The safest way to do it is without a helmet.
So, I've never worn a helmet in my life, but when I had the midlife crisis and I collected all the dirt bikes, not long after that, I ruptured the disc and I was crippled for like a couple of years. So I sold all the dirt bikes.
He's gonna come over there and beat you up.
Who's gonna beat me?
Travis, he
somebody needs to.
He got a thing against crippled people.
I need to have. Oh, that's right. That's right. Especially people with prosthetic legs.
He gonna pull your prosthetic limb off and beat you with it.
And
I
beat
should
you
have
with
never
it.
told y'all that. I should have never told y'all
I
this.
think I saw that on the Chappelle show one time. But no, I figured, you know what? I think I could still do this. I could still do it. And I went and bought one of the same bikes that I had 15 years ago. And let me tell you something. I'm not as strong and I'm not as I have aged in 15 years. And I got on this damn thing the other day and it's like, holy shit. It's like I am gonna get killed in
But you
like
can't.
a
You
matter of
can't.
minutes.
But you still
Oh,
wrote it though. You still wrote it.
You go 90 miles an hour in about 2 seconds.
Are you doing backflips yet?
Oh, hell no. No. I'm not that level. I'm just like a foolish person that goes for the adrenaline
We
rush.
want to see Chuck Knievel.
No, you won't ever see that. You won't ever see that, man.
Yo, even if he lands properly, bro, he
No, probably what I'm gonna do, because I couldn't afford to buy it anyway. It was a foolish thing to do because I don't have the money to do it. But I'm probably going to trade it or sell it and get something that I won't get killed on right away, because this thing is like for racing. It's a race bike, and that's not what I need. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking of. I was thinking that I was like 15 years younger, but anyway, that happened.
Yeah, the impulse bad, Chuck. You know.
Listen, you know what I heard? You know what I heard from all this?
They don't know our age, man.
Is that this is still the same guy who just like, I don't want to live a normal life. I just want to herp all day. I'm not gonna do anything. This is what I'm gonna do. He still got it in him.
When you stop doing foolish things like that, you'll get old. And I damn sure don't want to get old.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta stay young forever.
Chuck is out here wild.
Man, I'm trying to think of anything snake related that I had written down that I wanted to talk about. Damn it! I know there was some stuff.
I wanted to talk about.
We can always do another show, Chuck.
We'll do one once a week if you want.
Don't tell us that, Chuck.
Don't tell us that, Chuck.
Oh man, if Patrick's on here, I was going to ask him about 1629, about David D. VV 1629. I'm wondering how that guy's doing and if he's ever sired anything, because he was a really nice blue line, sired by the Blue Boy thing that I sold to David D. way back when.
Pat's probably in the bed right now. He's probably in the bed now.
Maybe.
Hey, Pat. Hey, step away from the kettlebell and the Satan stick. Send a message real quick. Let us know. Let us know what happened to VV 1629.
Oh, yeah, I know another thing I wrote down. Talking about prolapses and all that, and just general husbandry stuff.
Yeah.
Oh. I know it's not environmentally the way to go, but man, these deli cup things are the way to go.
That's what I use.
I've started putting 2 of them, like even in my hatchling, the little hatchling shoebox things. I put 2 of them in there, and with the sweater box, when they get yearlings, I've got 2 of them in there, and in my adults, I've got like 3 of them in those Neodesha and the whatever the hell the other ones are, my cages, Vision. I'm putting multiple water bowls in there because I don't know. I never ever have like bad sheds or incomplete sheds or broken sheds, and you know, it's like people, you know, if you're not well hydrated, you're real likely to get sick.
Yeah.
I mean, people are more likely to catch a cold or something if they're dehydrated. And snakes for sure, you know, a lot of them, it's not the humidity that is making them have a bad shed. It's that they're not drinking enough water. And having like multiple little deli cups in there. You know, they've always, one of them's always going to be fresh water, nice, clean, you know, fresh water. And they just drink like hell. It's a simple thing to do that I think makes a big difference in keeping healthy, especially the little guys. Little guys and the older ones. I just think it's good to give them a bunch of options on water, because what the hell?
Have you ever tried to inject in your feeders, Chuck?
You know, I've thought about it, but I've never felt like I needed to. I've thought about, I used to like dip them in a calcium supplement, like just when I was leading up to breeding season, I would like get a little extra calcium in the females.
Yeah.
But you know, Rico was saying, man, that's stupid. You don't need to do that. Just, you know, if you're feeding good animals, they got plenty of calcium. And he was right. He was right.
Look like they've been chilling with Tony Montana.
Yeah. He was big mountain. Yeah. Rico was right. It was stupid, and there was no point.
Chuck.
Let's don't go there now.
Yo, Chuck is gonna start singing.
I gotta be
Marvin
careful
Gaye's
here.
Third World Girl. He gonna start singing Third World Girl.
No, bro.
Oh Lord.
You're not gonna do that one.
But no, I like my multiple deli cups, and especially in those racks, it keeps the humidity level a little bit higher just having two in there. And I don't know what in the hell else I was going to talk about. I have no idea. But it's nice. Chuck, it's nice hanging out with you guys.
We appreciate
it. It's nice hanging out with you, Chuck. And
we love it, Chuck.
You got the visual together, Chuck, for us. Yeah, man.
I hate that you guys are so damn far away.
I mean, Chuck, we'll eventually figure out how to get around you. But
yeah, maybe we get to Florida. You know, you can take us to Florida where black people are allowed to come.
You can take us to do
Orlando's pretty safe. And
Orlando's pretty safe.
Not Orlando, Daytona.
So the only time I'm safe is in Universal Studios.
No. Daytona's safe. And
just say he's an actor.
The Wayne Hill show, you know, the National Reptile, whatever it is, NRBE in Daytona. It's like a ball python show now, but they have some cool stuff there every now and then.
Florida's not safe.
It's worth going to. But yeah, you guys could come hang out in Daytona and go to the show in August. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Or I could drag my ass to Tinley in October or whenever.
Let's do both.
Isn't it in October? Oh, that's what I wanted to ask about. Travis, you went to the show with the British guy.
Sal, that's my bro.
Yeah, the guy you talked to that made the incubators.
Who knows a black guy?
No, he's a white guy. He made incubators.
No, Chris, stupid.
Oh, you talking about the guy from Sea Serpents? Yeah.
No. I know about Sea Serpents. This guy was Will Banks. Will Banks,
yeah.
Are you talking about the new Will Banks?
He had.
Are you talking about the new gigantic incubators? Yeah.
Well, he had a gigantic, and then they went down to a little like 2x2 type thing.
Talking about the super high speed ones. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
How expensive were those incubators?
I think the cheapest one was like maybe $1,300.
Jesus Christ, for the little bitty one?
It's not little. It's not that little.
Man, they had one on the end that looked like the 2-foot cube size of sea serpents, the littlest sea serpent size.
It's not big, but it ain't terribly little. Now I say this. I saw it, and like it's got a whole bunch of stuff to it. And that's what that's all I can really say to it. So
I know it comes with the electronics, and I like the idea of the
air filtration system.
Air filtration system.
It has a real air filtration system. So like, is for what they're charging is worth that much? The question is, do you need it? That's the question.
Well, I need a incubator that I can freaking rely on, because I told you that this clutch of 15 that I got on the 13th of March, I told you, like, I went to Okatee that end of that week, and like the first 7 days, half of those eggs went bad in my
Yeah.
Rico's big habitat systems incubator, which I've never, it's the first time I've ever used it. And I don't think it was the fault of the incubator, but when I got back from Okatee, like day 10, 11, another 5, 6 eggs went bad. And you know how many eggs I've got now?
How many?
One.
Well,
Damn.
so
One.
here's the thing: is like you can get a sea serpents, and sea serpents they're in Florida, and I have a sea serpents.
So
That's what I
I
had for
had
my first two
one.
clutches.
I had
I
one. I bought one and I sold it after the Nido virus wiped out my whole world. I sold my sea serpents one because I was broke and I needed the money. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, damn, all I got is this bunch of little hatchlings, so I'm not going to need one for like 5 years. And so, the time came a couple of years ago that I needed one, and I went back to my old big old AV cooler, Chondro cooler thing that I don't know where it came from, maybe Rico or somewhere. But it's hard as hell to maintain a good temperature. And I borrowed another one, an old, not a AV, but another incubator I borrowed last year, and I used that one and the cooler one. And I got a fairly good hatch rate, but I need either the sea serpents, or I was looking at those Wilbanks thinking if that little one is like about the same price as sea serpent, I would buy one in a heartbeat.
I built the one that I used for my last clutch. I built
Yeah.
that one.
I
Uh,
heard you talk about you built one. How the hell did you
yeah.
do that?
So like really like it's like I really did it with the help of Randy Pease and Tuck from Tuck. Tuck is Tuck. And I got one of the drink coolers. It was like $100. It was like one of the refrigerated drink coolers.
Yeah,
Um, and I took and I ripped everything out of it, and I put a false wall up with PVC and two fans.
man, I don't know how
And
to do all that.
it's you just plug it in. It's plug and play. I'll show it to you.
No, it's not. I don't know how to
Yes,
do all that crap.
it's listen. Listen. The hardest thing about putting that thing together was having another person help me screw on the false wall. But it's not hard to put on the fans. They're computer fans. I got like two of them for like
I don't know,
$30.
Travis. I
You
you know
just
I can
and
I
you
can
plug
build
it in.
I can build some stuff,
Plug
but
it
when
in, plug it
it
in.
comes to electronics, I don't have a real good grasp of electronics. And
You don't have to wire anything, Chuck.
Bruh.
You
Look,
don't
I
bruh.
have
guess not.
you don't have
Bruh.
to wire
Bruh, he
anything at
might
all.
not trust himself with them damn Kofi eggs, man. I wouldn't trust myself either.
No,
Okay.
hell no. That's
Why you
why I
think
This
why
say
you why you
I
think I
want
got a why you think I got a sea serpent?
to buy. I'm either going to buy another sea serpents, or I was thinking about those Wilbanks things, but it sounds like they're too damn expensive to think about.
Somebody said one is the smallest one is 800 if it's about 7 clutches. It might be
So
800.
so it's a little more than the sea serpents, but that includes the electronics.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all integrated. It's a fully integrated system.
fully. I saw that whole spiel that he gave you guys, and yeah,
Yeah.
they sounded like the best incubator that I've seen in a while. I mean,
Well, you
short of those like the university things that are $10,000, it sounded like the best thing going.
Listen, my incubator that I built was less than my sea serpents, and I like it better than my sea serpents because it's wider and I can
Damn,
put bigger tubs in it and more tubs. But
damn.
I get, but my, but the thing about my fans is I can adjust the speed to my fans. It's not just one setting like my sea serpents.
Well, why don't you move to Gainesville?
hey Chuck, before you had the habitat system, what were you cooking with?
Do what now?
Listen to Randy. Randy told me how to do it.
Before
Hey,
what?
before you was cooking with the Rico's latest incubator, where were you hatching with before that?
That's a damn good question. The first thing that I hatched chondro eggs in was that old AV chondro incubator, the old cooler thing. That's
Okay.
the first thing that I did chondro eggs in with. But I had an old incubator that I used to I mean, all the arboreal pit vipers were live bearing, so I didn't have to worry about that. And with the colubrids, it was an AV ARTI, a little bitty like tall cooler thing made by AV, and it would do heat and cool because with the mandarin rats, there were, or not the, I guess it was the Mullendorf's rats. It was a low incubation temperature and it was a 90-day incubation period. And so I bought that when I was doing the mandarins and the Mullendorfs on loan from Tracy Barker. I bought that AV ARTI thing, and that was about $700. That was not a cheap incubator. I got it on the porch. The damn thing doesn't work because I just let it sit too many years, I guess. But actually, I hatched the first couple. I guess I hatched one chondro egg clutch in the big cooler thing, and then I used that AV for the next couple clutches of chondros, and then I bought the damn sea serpents. So, but yeah, I like that AV ARTI thing that you can set it to cool or heat.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a great little incubator, but it was just real expensive. And there's no window, you just open the damn thing up and all your heat flies out.
Yeah.
It was not the best design in the world, but it did a good job. I got like 100% hatch rate with chondros with Kofiau when I used it. It was a good incubator. But I need to either buy another sea serpents or find something like the Wilbanks that I could afford. Or you got to move to Gainesville and help me build one.
Listen, you can build it. You could literally put this thing together.
But just take a trip over there to Gainesville. Go ahead and make it for Chuck.
You would have to write step by step with pictures for an idiot so that I could actually build it.
I'll send you everything. I'll send you links to everything you need, and I'll take pictures for you. I thought it was gonna be really hard, and I talked to Randy, and Randy was just like, "Stop being a bitch. It's really easy."
Well, I see a ton of the of those drink cooler things.
Yeah, they're all over the place on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Randy eat the culo, so
getting that is no problem.
He said Randy eats the culo. That's unnecessary.
Getting one of those is no problem.
That was unnecessary to say.
Randy.
What I missed? He said Randy eats the culo, which is a true statement, but it had nothing to do with this.
Yes, the culo.
Randy is self-professed, so
yeah, leave Randy alone.
I know a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah,
it's just the sentences he had to use at the motel.
Chuck, see, Randy, Chuck is right there with you. Randy, Chuck is right there with you.
I got it.
Oh man, this is terrible.
Yeah, another thing we need to do.
We're supposed to be respectable.
About like 9 years in a row or so. In the summer, I went to Costa Rica. And one time we flew from Orlando to Houston and then from Houston to San Jose. But, you can still get a ticket from anywhere you are in Chicago, Houston, Orlando. Man, you can get a round trip ticket to Costa Rica for like $300, $350. It's not expensive to get there.
What you doing in Costa? What you do in Costa Rica?
So there's a travel. Holbrook Travel in Gainesville owns a 500-acre rainforest reserve in Costa Rica, and
nice.
it's like they have 500 acres of primary forest, and it connects to the big damn original humongous preserve that I'm blanking on. I can't think of what it's called. It's part of a corridor. You know, their lodge is like a big chunk that connects like several other preserves. And man, we caught so many snake, eyelash vipers and fertile ants and vine snakes and crebos and boas and just millions of snakes, plus red-eyed tree frogs and little tamandua anteater things and all kinds of cool mammals, sloths and things. It's just a paradise, man. It's like little dart frog, poison arrow frogs. It's a paradise, man. I could live there in a heartbeat.
What else your family, Chuck?
Well, my family needs to meet up. We need to meet up down there. I got Elliot to go 2 years in a row. I got Elliot to go, and it's hard to get him to go somewhere. And I got a couple other chondro guys to go like 1 or 2 years, but yeah, man, that's something that we'd have a blast. If we met up, if we all coordinated and met up down there, we would have a blast for a week.
That sounds fun.
And it's not that expensive. It's really not that expensive.
It sounds like Amy. It sounds like Amy all over again.
I got the good connects on our guides and transportation guys. I know a whole bunch of people there that would help us out.
You got the connection on Puerto Ricans still?
No, I got connections in Costa Rica, not Puerto Rico. No, I haven't seen her in quite a few years.
No, not her specifically.
We're not going to talk about this anymore.
We can get on a new thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, we can't. No, let's not.
No, we got to stay away from that.
Some new things, you know.
Let's stop.
Let's stay on Costa Rica because that's clean, good, wholesome family fun.
Look, they got cabins in Costa Rica. What's up?
Oh, beautiful ones.
Hit the back in Costa Rican wood.
Man, I'll send you a bunch of Costa Rican.
Get this Costa Rican work.
I'll send you Costa Rica pictures, and it'll make you want to go get your ticket to Costa Rica. There's like two cans. I already want to
go to Brazil.
So Brazil, man, Charlie went to Brazil. I told you like last summer, and the thing about Brazil is they speak Portuguese.
Man, the Brazilian grandmothers.
Man, Portuguese is a bitch. It's not Spanish. Nobody speaks English and nobody speaks Spanish. They speak Portuguese, and that's it.
Shout out to them Brazilian gilts.
Man, Charlie got so frustrated.
Okay, Kino.
He got so damn frustrated with the language barrier, he didn't ever want to go to Brazil again. I mean, I guess
tell him to talk to me, man. I speak fluent Brazilian.
Oh,
you don't.
You do not.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
I know that's not true.
You don't know about that, Chuck. Look,
I know that Portuguese is impossible.
Only thing he gonna mention to you, like, is just the stuff that he knows what to eat at the Brazilian steakhouse. He's gonna say "chama gaucho."
Oh, right.
Chama gaucho.
No, I speak Brazilian, bro. Shut up. Slightly, you know.
Man, I'm telling you, Portuguese is one of the weirdest languages I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. I mean, the song "Portuguese Lover" is a pretty good song.
Yeah, well,
look, you spend a week in Brazil with me. We'll come back. I guarantee you, we'll come back and you're gonna be speaking fluent Brazilian.
I would not come
you're gonna come back itching. That's what you're gonna come back right around Keto.
I will not come back speaking Portuguese.
Why he be itching, bro?
Why you think you're gonna be itching?
You know that it takes the same amount of time to fly to Brazil as it does to fly to London. It's the same flight. It's the same distance as it is to go to Europe.
Yeah, I remember when I had to fly from London into DC, and it wasn't that long.
What about the red light district?
Okay. Can we just...
we're staying away from that, damn it.
Yeah, Keto. You should stop, Keto.
want to go to Amsterdam. You know,
It's mine down the gutter here.
Nah, I want to go to Amsterdam. You know, it's the coffee shops over there.
You know, I always wanted to do that. I did.
I'm a coffee guy.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it when I was in Amsterdam. I just
You know, there is a guy in the Czech Republic. There is a cool guy in the Czech Republic who has Kofiau that has bred him and is raising some up right now.
Oh, really?
So we could go to the Czech Republic. Oh God, I wish you hadn't asked me because
I'll put you on the
I
spot.
have to look it up. I gotta look it up. I can't remember his name.
All right.
I should know his name. There's Daniel Boswell in Australia, and then there's
Boz. That's the homie.
And there's damn, what's his name?
Hey, you know, Boz was on our ass about having you on the show for a long time.
He's a cool guy, man. He seems like a really good guy.
Boz is.
I gotta send him a bunch of pictures. I'm neglecting him, and I'm really liking watching his grow up. He's got some nice animals.
He was asking about you for a minute on our show. I'm like, hey, look, don't worry about it. We'll get him on there. Don't worry. Chill.
I was a lot better at communicating with him for a while, but I've just gotten bad at communicating with anybody here for the last couple of years or two. But
how's your health, Chuck? Is on back up on the upswing?
You know, it hadn't been great lately, but I'm sure an upswing is just around the corner. That's why I bought the dirt bike, because I thought that might cause an upswing.
You just be out here wilding.
My prescription for the downward spiral was to buy a Death Machine dirt bike.
Look, Chuck, to even heal faster, just start doing.
That makes sense, right?
Do backflips while you own it.
Makes perfectly good sense, right?
You gotta start doing. You gotta do some daredevil tricks.
Well, no, I don't, man. No.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Yeah, you gotta do something. You gotta do something thrilling, Chuck. Like drive it over a canal that's filled with alligators.
Man, just riding the damn thing I bought and surviving, getting back and surviving it is a thrill ride. It's a trick in itself.
Nah, but it's
a death trap. But you know, they say there's a mind-body connection with your health, and I thought, you know what, that'd be good for my mind, so maybe it'd be good for my body.
You sound like me, and then it doesn't ever work out that way.
No, it doesn't. It didn't work out in this case. It was a bad decision.
Travis' body is a lot older than yours, Chuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That man.
No, my body was not.
He is the oldest young man I know.
Do what?
Travis is the oldest young man I know, man.
I forget who was on the show the night you were talking about you want to be an old grandpa and like sit around and I forget what the conversation was, but Travis, he was like, no, you don't want to do that. You were talking about how you want to just be an old grandpa, retire, and sit around, have people bring stuff to you and whatnot. It was funny as hell, but whoever was on the show was not seeing the humor in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I be saying a lot of shit people don't think
it's funny, was that?
But I'm not gonna stop saying it.
I don't remember who it was.
But that sound like Travis do sound like he want to live like a lieutenant damn life, just sitting around pooping on himself, wait on somebody to come wipe his ass.
Basically wanted to just lay in the hammock and have people bring stuff to him, you know.
He's like, could you cut a hole in the ass out, please, so I can just use the bathroom laying down.
Make a little convenient slot here. Yeah. That's kind of what it was about.
When you say it like that, whose pants are we cutting?
No, it's a cut in the hammock. Well, I guess there might have to be one in the pants too.
All right. We're at the last leg of the show. So you got any alibis, anything you want to get off, Chuck, before you get up out of here?
He said an alibi.
Did you see the look at the pictures of the aliens? The signal herp, the blue boy bred to the Kofiau?
This is a picture.
I sent a whole bunch of pictures of the alien project. No,
Is this
no, no,
one of them?
no. The little red guys, my little red Neos,
I'm
and they
glad you
all
said this.
they grew up into blue ones.
I'm glad you said this because somebody
No,
somebody recently had a clutch with the alien project cross to an Andrew of my animal.
I had to go check my email.
yeah, I got somebody sent it to me. It was posted somewhere, and somebody sent it to me. That was one of the aliens. There's not a lot of them got eaten by nidovirus, got taken by nidovirus. Like
Yeah.
the nicest one went to Barry Manson, and nidovirus hit his collection,
I
and
remember Barry Manson.
man, it killed the nicest one I produced. It was bluer, way bluer than the adult male, blue male sire.
Uh,
There's one, Travis, that's got red neos, and that's the one about the aliens. It's the
okay, I
only
think I found it.
it's
Hold
the
on, let me
only
see it.
thing where you got like red neos and blue snakes, because the red ones turned into blue ones.
And well, these were Kofiels.
No, well, it was Rico's blue line male bred to one of my
That's what it
founder
was. Okay.
Kofiau females. So they were like, it was a blue crossed Kofiau, and I just asked Rico, what do you think would happen? And he's like, well, I don't know. And we talked about it, the more it sounded like a interesting thing to try. And
Hey,
20,
Rico told you the
2013
he told you the realest thing with chondros. I don't know.
20, 2013, 2013, I threw his blue male in with yellow rose, and man, that male was the best breeder ever. He jumped on that female, and 2013, I think that was a clutch of 12 or something like that. And man, they were all red neos, and most of them grew up to be blue, beautiful blue adults. Some of them way bluer than the sire.
Wow.
And I did it accidentally. Yep, there's one of them.
Oh snap! Hold on, leave it up, Chuck. Hold on.
So there's the female so that's the Kofiau female that was bred to Rico's blue male.
Leave it up. Let's see, Chuck. What you talking about? Okay.
So there's the Kofiau, and there should be a
This,
shot of
this
the
yellow
male.
rose.
Signal herp 10030. There's the male. There's Blue Boy right there. So that's the pair that we bred. That blue line, Signal herp blue line, to the Kofiau founder. And this guy, the Signal herp blue line, came from a mixed clutch, yellow and red. And of course, Kofiau are always 100% of the time yellow. And so I didn't know what to expect, but 100% of these guys were red both years, in 2013, again in 2014.
And he was from a
And
mixed red clutch. He was from a mixed yellow and red clutch.
yeah, the
Okay.
sire was from a mixed clutch, and I didn't really know, what would happen, but the red dominated the hell out of those things, and the blue genetics seemed to dominate the whatever Kofiau. They basically had the temperament and sort of the head shape of a Kofiau, and got all the blue from that blue line male. And there's a couple of pictures of ones that grew up. The one I sent to Barry Manson turned bluer than hell, and I sold several to Sean Matthews that turned beautiful blue. One of them went to David D. They went a fair number of places. I think a lot of them ended up
The
being
animals,
COVID.
the animals associated with that line, they all passed.
So David, I don't know whether David still has that male, the sire. I'm not sure if he still has him or not. But Yellow Rose definitely was like one of my founders that died when nidovirus hit. And as far as the offspring go, I don't know how many offspring survived. There's at least one of them out there because somebody just posted a picture of it.
I say this, we've been talking about for nidovirus too damn much tonight.
I
Yeah,
know.
we have.
But what was funny is that you know, breeding a blue line, solid blue line male to a Kofiau female, you know, you might as well have bred two blue line animals together because the results were the same. You got all red Neos, and the majority of them ended up being bluer than hell.
And none of them had the Kofi look or nothing, besides the few you said that had
Well,
the head.
no, there was some hints of Kofiau, but
Okay.
a lot more of the sire, a lot more from that blue line.
Yeah.
Well,
There should be a couple of the adults, Travis, with those pictures you just showed. There should be some like grown ones, like from
yeah,
Sean Matthews and one from
we.
Barry Manson.
I don't know. Like I tried to add more pictures and it just wouldn't add them. I don't know if
Oh,
we just
okay,
maxed out
all right. No,
pictures.
don't worry about it.
Let me see.
The whole point of that was just that you know, it ended up producing a bunch of really nice blue snakes, which you know
Oh, this is the other one that came
yeah,
through.
so that's the one that Barry Manson got. That was number 5 from the first clutch, and that was like a super dark, almost no pattern.
What are you doing, Keto?
What the hell are you doing, Kino?
Well, the dryer just started for no reason.
Oh. So yeah, that was like a little patternless, super dark little guy. That I knew when I saw that little guy come out of the egg that was going to be the nicest one of the clutch, and it was. Had a lot of black and a hell of a lot of blue, and that's another shot of it. Very different shot, but man, that was an amazing snake. And then there's a couple that went to Sean Matthews in Michigan. Like
Wow.
1306, I think 1306 maybe, and 1307, which were there. There we go. There's Sean Matthews. That's third. I can't read that.
I don't know how to
It
make
says
it.
That's
SH
1307.
Yeah, 003 times yellow rose.
Yeah, and it's CV 1307. So that was number
Yeah.
7 from the 13 clutch, and you just saw number 5 that went to Barry Manson. And I think number 4 and number 3 were also just about that blue.
Yeah.
Number 6 is a spectacular female that was bluer than that went to
Yeah,
Sean.
that one. It didn't add any more, so I don't
Okay,
know.
well that's
I
what
think
I want. That's what
we
I
got a
want
lot
you
of
to
pictures
see.
in here, so I don't know if it just
I know,
doggone
man.
add
I avalanched you with a whole lot of pictures, but that's what I
That's
wanted.
cool. That's cool.
All I
We can
wanted
keep
Yeah,
them coming.
we enjoy that.
That's all I wanted you to see is just that those that cross, that pairing turned out some amazing blue animals. And actually there were only like a handful of them that were not like close to as blue as the sire.
Mm.
Jason, somebody got one that was really cool looking, but wasn't as blue as those. But you know,
Jason, was that Jason Stevens?
no, it wasn't Stevens. It was like some Fisigelio. It's a Italian sounding name.
Was his name Papa Giorgio? Was his name?
No, damn it, I'm blanking on it. But anyway, if somebody has a strong blue line animal and they breed it to a Kofiau, there's a very good chance they're going to get a hell of a lot of nice blue animals. If you know that pairing is any indicator.
Where does someone go if they're looking for a Kofiau?
Where would somebody go?
Go talk to Chuck.
Email me. Yeah, actually, I am gonna sell. I'm gonna have to sell like one of the 23s, and I may have to sell one of the 22s, just because I just got I owe the IRS like $3,000, and my main daily driver is out there with blowing blue smoke out of the exhaust. It's going to be an expensive fix, so I'm gonna have to sell something. So actually, I will have something for sale. I don't know what I'm going to sell, but I've probably got more than I need to hold back from both the 2-year-olds and the yearlings. So yeah, if somebody really wants Kofiel, then yeah, they should call me, I guess.
Yeah, if you want, we'll put it on Chondro Classifieds and show it up.
Chondro
Yeah.
Classifieds, what's that?
We just
Send us
whoever has a snake for sale, we just show it before the show starts.
Oh, cool. All
Send
right.
us a picture and we'll advertise it on the next show.
Cool. I'll do it. That'd be cool. Yeah, I had a friend, my friend in North Carolina. Man, I'm having some Alzheimer's things going on right now.
Is it the guy that's been selling for your coffee house for you on your morph market?
Yeah. He's the one that's been posting them for.
I can't think of his damn name, but yeah, I've been paying
Here,
attention.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now who he is. He's a super nice guy and kind of saved my life. Josh Hensley.
Yeah.
Josh Hensley. And man, he got hit with something that took out most of his collection. I don't think it wasn't nidovirus, but I'm not sure exactly what it was. But like last year, he lost, snakes that he had raised up and had for years and years. A lot of expensive, nice snakes. But his Paracophial, no problem. They came right through, no problem. Yeah, he bought a pair of the 23s from me in last October or something like that. I don't remember when. But yeah, I couldn't manage to figure out how to get stuff posted on Morph Market, and man, he offered to do it for me, and he helped me out a lot when I needed help bad. So I'm indebted to him forever. But
shout out to friends.
Yeah, that was honorable, John.
Yeah, and I've still got,
Josh Hensley, my bad.
My female that didn't lay, I'm not sure what's up with her. I think she's finally about to shed. And she's not, I don't think she's egg bound, but my God, she's been like huge and looking like she's going to lay for like 2.5 months or more. So I'm hoping that she's going to go pake and then lay something in a couple weeks. There's something in her. There's a lot of something in her that's bound to come out eventually, I guess, one way or another.
A gut full of Travy Trad.
So I don't know. It's taken so long. I'm afraid it's taken so long that I don't know that there's a good chance of fertility, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope to get something since this first clutch crashed and burned. And I have no idea why, because last year the same pair, they did great. So I have no idea what was up with this last one.
I think it's just the luck of the draw sometimes.
Sometimes weird stuff happens for no good reason, I think. Because he's definitely not shooting blanks, and she's definitely well capable. And for whatever reason, man, these were just weak eggs. When they go in the first week, they're just not, not solid eggs. Even though they looked good, I was sure I was going to have like 15 little guys hatching pretty soon. But not going to be from those. So I don't know. Hopefully my other girl will come through, and I'll end up with another good clutch this year.
Yeah.
But I got enough held back that I'm.
How many Kofiel do you have in total, babies included?
I got my 2.2 breeders, and then I've got 7 2-year-olds and from the 22 clutch, and I've got 6. I guess I've only got 6 of the 23s left. Because I sent Matt some and sent
17.
Matt a box, and then I've
that was a beautiful box that Matt Morris got. I saw that.
Man, I need to send him some more. I thought I was gonna have a shitload of little guys to send him, pretty soon, next month or two.
Hey, look, The Kofiauts, they love Chicago weather. They do. I'm just
Man, I
saying.
tell you, I think they would do a lot better, like with the Gainesville weather, the North Central Florida weather. I think you ought to think about change.
I don't know. You just told
think-
me if I put something red to Kofi, I might get something crazy. So
You
you
would.
know,
You
I'm
would.
thinking, some Cyclops Kofi out.
Man, I'm telling you, as far as making some interesting designers,
Bree wanted Kofi out to Jamaica.
like Jamaica, extra Kofiau male bred to Jamaica. Is that a female?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you bred.
Now, if I bred a Kofi out of her, it would be probably somebody that descended from your Black Hair Project.
Well, regardless, if you bred a pure Kofi out of her, man, you would get some interesting snakes. You get some nice snakes. And they probably wouldn't try to kill you and bite your face off because they'd have that Kofi out nice, mellow temperament.
Chuck, you gonna make me
move to Gainesville.
Or you gonna make me send some money down there?
No.
He'll send the money.
I won't twist your arm.
But
you
do need some. You do need at least one.
You ain't got to.
You do need at least one. It's like Okatee corns. Everybody needs at least one.
It'll happen at some point in time. Everybody's gonna get one. But
no, I don't want everybody to get one.
No.
We gotta get ready.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I had no idea it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we gotta get ready to get out of here. So Keno, do your thing, man.
Have we even talked about snakes at all?
We've talked about just barely.
That's what part 3 is for.
Damn.
We're gonna leave beat on the bone for part 3.
Man, that's some time flying by right there.
Well, you had a lot of good stories to tell. So
no, I didn't. Yeah. I was thinking it was like 11:30 or something. Is damn.
The last 2 episodes did this though. I think when you really have people that's been around for a while and got stories to tell, shit, man, the best thing we can do, Chuck, honestly, is sometimes shut up.
Yeah, we just let you talk.
Let's be honest.
Listen, we do. We'll let the guests talk, and we'll just.
I did notice when I went through and looked at some of the old ones that they were like 3 hours and something minutes. They were like marathons.
Well, this is one of them
because you just start going and it's like
Well, I need to get more organized with my thoughts because I had all this important stuff to talk about and I forgot about every bit of it. Oh, the cage thing. Now, seriously, if anybody can figure out a way to get to it, these cages are as nice as they were when they left, Rico's snake room, and they got everything that you need except the snakes. And it's a shame for those cages to be sitting around.
Yeah, you can send us the pics and we'll just put them.
I'll buy the one with Midas in it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Man,
I'll get that one.
I'll send you. I went through and took a bunch of pictures. Like the trip right after Rico had his initial surgery. One of the times I went up right after that, I took a whole bunch of pictures of some of his really, really nice looking animals. They're just random pictures. I couldn't tell you what most of them are, but I'll send you like a little montage from Signal Herp Snake Room because it's cool as hell just to look at them.
No, we'll get you a part 3.
If I can't tell you what the hell they are, it's just cool to look at them. And
we'll get you a part 3 where you can what we'll do is we'll dive deep more into the Black Hair Project, and then we'll we'll get you them pictures over here, and then we can talk about Rico's collection too.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the whole heart of the matter. I totally forgot about what we were supposed to be talking about.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
This gonna leave meat on the bone.
Anytime you want to just get me organized, and then we'll talk about something productive. Or we just hang out and talk about life.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
They can do that too. You want to be like you want to do like a biannual life coach session, Chuck?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
what are you talking about? Life coach? Hell no.
Puerto Rican cabin woods, man. Look, we can.
We're not
go
talking. We're not
Costa
talking
Rica.
about this again.
No,
Leave it
man.
alone.
I'm counting on you guys to be
Yeah.
doing some coaching here.
We got you.
Yeah, I need
Before we get up out of here, though,
Keno's only stroking coaching.
I will, Chuck. I will teach you how to get that. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm not gonna say that.
No, don't say
All
that.
right, Keno, what's the thing you wanted to do at the end of the show, man?
Before we get up out of here, look.
Hey, whenever you sign, sorry, Keno, I didn't mean to interrupt
Go
you.
ahead,
Whenever you sign off, you got a great intro now. So whenever you sign off, I think Travis ought to like sing like an outro. We ought to sing an outro.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Yeah,
I know you got it in you. I know you can do it.
So what I'm gonna do is
that sounds like some type of French massage.
I want to hear that voice. I know it's in there. I want to hear it.
I'm gonna speak, and then the baritone voice is gonna take us up out of here.
Chondro
Bar Room.
Man, what a better way! There's no better way to close the show than that.
No,
we got to get you on the outro. We got to get you on the outro, bro. We got to get you on the outro. Corona.
Not me. You don't want to hear me sing anything. No.
No, Travis. Before we get up out of here, I want to address this. I had a talk with Michael Juarez today. People who go watch our show and record and go send him clips to try to keep up mess. That's messy. Stop doing that shit, all right? If there was anything that needed to be said between the two shows, we would handle that as men. We do not need anybody in the middle to start meaningless bullshit. Simple as that.
Yeah.
We are here for green tree pythons. We are here for the snakes. And the Chondro Bar Room, that's what it is. Shout out to MJ, what he doing over there. That's his own lane. We in our own lane. People in the community, stop trying to keep up drama. Stop trying to keep up drama. Stop trying to start drama. Stop sending him shit and all that bullshit.
No drama.
Yeah. Keep this for the snakes. And with that, we're going to let the veteran get on up out of here. I know it's kind of late where you at, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. And I appreciate you guys a lot. I appreciate you being patient and all that.
Nah, man, Chuck, we ain't got nothing but time, man. And,
it takes some time to get me together. I had to buy a damn laptop and figure out how to get it together.
It worked out.
You made it back.
It worked out. It's good. I got a new laptop and it all worked good. So
that's all. That's all.
Honestly, the last show, you had people want to talk to you off a green screen. So it was a green screen. They were like, "Hey, we need Chuck back for part 2."
It was kind of a train wreck, but I think maybe I might have been, even with all those tangents, I might have been a little bit more on point with it. I don't know. This one, I feel like we just had a nice little evening of chatting together
and drinking.
Well, you guys, yeah.
Sometimes it needs to be like that.
You guys.
Sometimes it needs to be like that, Chuck. I've been over here sipping the tequila.
Well, you know what? I think it's a good thing to hang out and just talk and enjoy it. That's what it's about.
At the end of the day, man.
That's the purpose of the bar room.
It's the next best thing to be in there.
Yeah,
we deal
with pet rocks, man. So we gotta make this fun somehow, Chuck.
Well, I can't think of a better way than pet rocks. Do you have to water them?
I spray them every now and then. I know.
All right.
I know, Chris. You're gonna get on my ass about that.
You spray directly on them or just around them?
No, I spray directly on them.
Oh, okay. All right.
I use warm water though.
Don't stress them out, man.
I rarely spray directly.
Don't stress them out.
No, I really only spray during the winter though, because being in Chicago, The
Yeah.
damn heat just
Yeah.
it saps all the humidity out there here.
Yeah, man. Well, it ought to be warming up pretty soon there.
Yeah, but like right now, I haven't sprayed.
Then the crime
winter
starts.
Oh damn! What's you? Damn!
I couldn't resist.
Damn! That's what we are.
You know,
Oh man, don't worry, bro. It's already started in Memphis,
if
dog.
anybody
It's already
tuned in-
started.
if anybody tuned in late, they're gonna be like, "What in the hell is this?"
I ain't say
about?
nothing about all them damn kids getting kidnapped down there in Texas. But okay, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, listen. On Saturday, I thought everybody kid got kidnapped, bro. It was so many fucking Amber Alerts around here. I was
That's
just
all
like,
y'all do down there. Y'all just
I was
take
like,
kids.
who kidnapped
Nah.
all you? Well, bro, I'll tell
Not
you.
me. I'm on Do Not Disturb.
So it was confusing because they also got Fiesta going on right now, which is like it's like a almost month-long celebration downtown. So I was confused, like, are kids getting kidnapped at Fiesta? Like, what's going on? But there was a lot of kids that got kidnapped.
Huh. Man, I don't actually get them that often. I don't know whether it's really because mine's on Do Not Disturb all the time or what. But
The Amber Alerts.
yeah, I don't get them that much.
Get the Citizen app. You will find out everything that's going on around you.
Yeah. That always startled the hell out of me. I don't like those Amber Alerts.
I don't like them either. But
Yeah.
we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for coming and checking in and coming to see the great Chuck Vogel.
Oh,
And we appreciate you so much, Chuck, man.
man, I appreciate you guys, and let's do it again.
We will. It'll be a part
three.
It's
Part 3 is gonna come.
3.
We got visuals. We got Chuck with the visuals. You know,
Got
Chuck,
visual, got audio.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
set.
we got Chuck with the Rico. Chuck with the Rico stuff behind him. You know, that was classic. That was a classic touch.
All right, man. I'm gonna send you guys some stuff, and be safe and stay healthy.
All right, y'all.
Thank you,
Chuck,
Chuck.
once
You too.
again.
All
Hey,
right.
y'all have a good night.
Till next week, y'all. Bar Room. We are out.
Later.
Peace.
See y'all next week.